Hello, hello. You've caught me in the middle of fixing my necklace. Hi, everyone. So today is day two of Relinquish Superwoman, Reclaim You. So if you missed yesterday, I do want to share with you that if you're in the Facebook group, you can go back and watch the replay. Yesterday, we had some amazing speakers stand up here and talk about different things. So Noria McGrath got up and she talked about choosing you, letting your light shine. I mean, how many of you want to be choosing you finally, right? So really step in and go back and watch these replays. Get in that group and really take advantage of what these amazing expert speakers had to share, right? And then Gila Lee got up and she spoke about the power of play. When was the last time you played? When was the last time you actually brought play into your life? These are the things that these women are bringing to you today. And this is what you want to make sure that you're catching these nuggets, right? And then after that, Yvette Howard got up and she spoke about your journey to self love and how your attachment style affects your relationships with others and you, right? Just take that in for a moment. So if you missed that, I want to make sure that you go back. Actually, right now, text the word day two to the number 443-594-7733. And when you text day two, we're going to send you the link to hop into our Facebook group so you can catch the replays from yesterday. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, that's not great for camera. No, so you can catch the replays from yesterday and then pop in and catch the ones from today as well. I mean, you're already here today, and when you're in the Facebook group, you actually get to engage. So you can ask questions to all of the speakers and things like that. So I'm super excited. So we're here. We are live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and in our Facebook group because we want to make sure that you receive this message today, right? That you get to relinquish Superwoman. I'm so powerful. I am so everything. I am everything to every single one, right? I'm here for my kids. I am the best at work. I am the best in my business. I'm the best wife. I cook, I clean, I do it all because I'm Superwoman. And then inside, it's like, oh my gosh, I am tired as all get out. I need time for me. I need to choose me. I need to bring play back into my life. I need to understand my attachment styles. That's you. This is where you want to be. You are in the right place right now. So I'm going to quickly introduce myself and then I'm going to share with you the amazing speakers we have today. All right. So I am Ilika Follette. I work with wellness entrepreneurs to move away from that chase and grind, right? Oh, let me get this. Oh, let me get this to monthly recurring revenue. And using my Reclaim Your Revenue methodology, I show you how to become more visible so that folks actually see your expertise and have access to it. In addition, we work on time, how to reclaim your time so that those 16-hour work days get to be out the door. And we work on mindset, how to shift to know that you get to grow in this space. And this is what you get to do to be a vessel to help the world transform. And so using that, so we get to work less. So you got to work less, feel or live more, and feel better while reclaiming your revenue. So that's something that you want, you need, and you want to be in this room where we are together, working on reclaiming your revenue, right? Speaking in front of a live audience of 70,000 or more, and learning how to host profitable retreats. Then be sure to text the word ILIKA to the number across the screen, 443-594-7733. ILIKA, ILEKA. And the reason you're texting me is because you're like, this is a space that I want to be in. It's amazing watching this online, watching it virtually. I could actually be in the room and engage during lunch and breakfast and dinner and at the pool, of course, or during karaoke, right? With these amazing speakers, these amazing wellness entrepreneurs, imagine how life could change. Or if you're like, you know what? I am a wellness entrepreneur. I'm really good at what I do. I'm an expert in my space. Yet I don't feel like I've gotten over that hump yet. I'm doing good, but there's something. I could be working less and doing this. I could be speaking on that stage. I could be sharing my gift. Then you want to be in this room. So that's when you text ILEKA, ILEKA, to 443-594-7733. All right? You have an opportunity to really step up and really level your game up in your profession. And this is what you love to do. So you get to share it. All right, so let's talk about today. Again, this is Relinquish Superwoman, Reclaim You virtual speaking event, right? And this is different than the ones you've been before or you've watched before, because the speakers are here. We're all in the room together. This isn't like me on this side with a line in the center and then the other person on this side, right? And I'm asking questions and they're answering the questions. No, we are together in one space. So we have some amazing speakers today. We have Kaz Lennox. She's going to get up here and she is going to speak on moving from trauma to joy. And she has some amazing gifts and products. She's just a gift in herself. And so she's going to come up here and speak and share some incredible gifts, some incredible gems. And I want you to take it in, what she says today. I want you to take in the gifts that she's sharing today, because you get to use this and begin to transform, begin moving forward on your journey. And then Jessica McQueen is going to get up here and she is going to speak on financial wellness, right? How to shift that money mindset. What's happening up here that every time you get to a certain point in your financial wellness, you're like, let me just go ahead and spend it all. Let me just go ahead and shift. I don't deserve to be here. What's happening here? She's going to be speaking about that today. And then I'm going to round it out because I want to make sure we talk a lot about time. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to go to this event. I don't have time to join this program. Oh my gosh, you guys are meeting weekly? You guys are meeting once a week? I can't spend 30 minutes once a week. Like when you get to the point where you can't even carve out 30 minutes once a week for yourself, you want to make sure you're at this, you're here at the end, through the end, to listen to how I show you how to reclaim their time, right? How to manage that mile-long to-do list. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm super excited that we are here for day 2. Be sure to get into the Facebook group. And again, by texting 443-594-7733, you get to jump in this Facebook group and engage with the speakers. You get to ask questions because after each person speaks, they come up here and I do a Q&A based on the questions in the Facebook group. So be sure to come up here. Be sure to get in the Facebook group so you can ask your questions, all right? Okay, so we are about to get started. Who's ready to get started? I'm so excited. So coming to the stage, I feel like I'm DEF CON Jam right now. coming to the stage, we have an amazing soul. I mean, the first time I met her, it was a few months ago, and we got on the phone for a 15-minute call, and it lasted an hour and a half. and we began talking because it was such a seamless conversation. Her energy, who she is, comes forward. And I mean, I'm getting goosebumps as I'm speaking about it because she's such an amazing person. Absolutely love her. And I'm so glad that she's a part of my life now. So she is going to come up here and speak on going from trauma to joy. Okay.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Cass, and I appreciate the chance to be up here and speaking in front of everyone, including those that are here virtually and on the replays. So my name is Cass, and I'm the founder of Kindness with Cass that actually just came to fruition in May of this year. Due to many things that arose over the pandemic, which has to do with mental health and our wellness and how we speak to ourselves. So I will go ahead and share some of the tips that actually worked to help me get from trauma to finding happiness and joy in my life all over again. So life has never been simple or easy, but it is what you make of it. So we always need to bring ourselves back to practicing daily gratitude. Your energy needs to be focused on positive self-talk, your self-care, along with just being present. A lot of us say, I have this to do, I have that to do, I need to go here, and we're already thinking of what the next thing is besides being present here. I will tell you, I am one of those. It is a constant work in progress because we always want to be better than what we are now. And we just need to remember we are who we are, and we just need to be present, living in our purpose and being happy. So we get to choose our hard. Do you choose to wake up and be angry in the morning? Or do you want to be happy and joyous and prosperous and helping others? There are different ways that your days can go. So when I wake up, I try and listen to positive, uplifting music so that my day is flowing with energy and positivity. Others may wake up and they have headbanging music. Not for me, but it's to each their own. You get to choose your heart. Remember also, tough times never last, tough people do.
Mm-hmm.
So that for me was one of the biggest things that I had to remember is all the things that happened to me happened for me.
Oof.
And as a result, I can stand here smiling. I get chills talking about it because literally it's 22 years of my life that I had to rewire, reframe, and get into a better mindset. Otherwise, we will end up back spinning. You're going to go into the past, and then you're not living presently. The greatest thing in life that one can do is trust and believe in yourself. If you have a group of friends that believe in you as well, that is also a key to have a support system. If you don't have a support system, you can always call me. You can DM me. I am willing to listen because I know what it's like not to have a support system. So a little bit more about me. I don't want to stick too much on it. I'm actually a former collegiate athlete, and I swam in college for Denison University and Lake Forest College. I went to two different schools. And that's actually kind of where my story began. I am a two-time sexual assault survivor, and actually one of them happened to be my teammate at one of the schools. I decided that I wanted to adventure into different areas of my life, and so I ended up becoming a multi-author of coloring books that are available. I can pass them around for those here in the room so you can see. And those of you online, they are going to be available on the website that's listed on the presentation throughout. So I also this year decided that I wanted to hire 2 coaches. And I actually have a third that was a spurt of the moment. But I have 3 coaches. So one of them is faith-based because faith gave me back also my happiness. And then the other one is a sales coach, and they're both listed in one of my coloring books. But you deserve to have a support team. And there is a phrase out there or a statement that says, pay for your friends because they'll be the ones that are loyal to you. And it's true because they have an accountability piece, which happens to be the money part. I know not everyone's about that, but for me, it's worked because they've also got similar mindsets or able to help me level up. So that's a little bit about me. There will be more certifications coming down the road for me, but that's because I always like to learn and invest in myself so that I can be able to serve and help others. Who this is for, it's truly something that is for anyone and everyone, but it's mainly for those that are looking to make an intentional movement in the forward direction. You want to be happy. You want to live an intentional, positive life. And then there's also those that are faith-based and driven, but they still sometimes falter and get left behind. So we want to make sure that everyone is included. There are many different things that you can do. Obviously, some people have talked on proper nutrition and rest. one of the things that I do like to focus on, and I'm sorry, ladies, I dipped early last night, but sleep is key for me. If I do not have ample sleep, I am a 22-year survivor of insomnia. I will tell you, an hour and a half of sleep every night can do terrible things to your body and your health. So I will always put sleep. I know socializing is great, but when you've got something super important like giving a message and serving others, I take pride in getting the rest that I need so that you guys get the best version of me. You also can be able to adapt and learn. And then my last thing is shift your mindset through positive affirmations and self-talk. I have to read this quote because this one actually is super poignant and it's all about the leaders. So mindful leaders prioritize self-care and mental health as a way to cultivate the inner strength and resilience needed to be fully present and engage in the moment. And it's super powerful because when we're not in the moment, we're missing key parts. So I challenge you to try and practice self-care and also focus on your mental health. What is self-care? Taking the time to check in with ourselves, rest when needed, and engage in activities that nourish our minds, body, and soul. Self-care is the action that you take to show that you are putting yourself as a priority. You can love yourself when it feels the most difficult by just practicing self-care. You may not have that love, but by watching a movie, by laying down, closing your eyes for a moment, doing yoga, like this morning, also going into the pool, walking outside barefoot, grounding yourself, doing meditation and visualization, or journaling, brain dumping, getting ideas out. Because one thing for me, I have so many ideas, not enough time, and if I don't write it down or do a voice note, that idea might be long gone and a thing of a past that could have been the next biggest thing. But we just need to remember, step back, practice some self-care, and I'm going to open it up for one or two of you to share one type of self-care practice that you have or you will do when you go home. Anyone?
Walk in nature.
And because of that, you get a little gift.
Oprah. I love it.
Anyone else have a self-care practice that they will do upon returning home?
Listening to positive music and dancing around freely.
Yes. All right, last one.
Remember to smile as much as possible.
That's awesome. That is so key because smiling is contagious. If you're smiling, it's bound to happen that someone else is going to smile. It rubs off. So remember, stay in the positive light, smile even if you don't want to. There are plenty of other people that may have a worse day than you do, but we just need to shower them with kindness and smile. Now, on to the next one. What is an affirmation? Does anyone have an idea what an affirmation is?
I am statements, positive words to yourself, statements to yourself.
Yes, of course, they are. So positive affirmations are almost as easy as it sounds. You're going to make a statement that has to do with you personally. A lot of people like to do affirmations that include things that they don't have control over. That is not really an affirmation that you will benefit from. Others may, but there's a lot of out of control factors. To put it simply, they are positive phrases and statements used to challenge your negative and demeaning, unhelpful thoughts. Positive affirmations are not designed to be cures for anxiety and depression. nor are they a substitute for clinical treatment and therapy. It's in addition to all of those things. So I don't claim to be a therapist. I don't claim to be a doctor. I want you to know that this does need to be happening in conjunction with therapy. When to use them? They can be used at all times of the day. They can be before bed, when you first wake up. You can also change it and make it that it's an incantation. But just remember, it's helping repurpose and reframe your subconscious patterns that you have for yourself. All right, so there are some, for those that are virtual, that are seeing the presentation, there are 2 affirmations that are listed. My energy is too precious to waste on stress, anxiety, and overthinking. Amen. That is so true, and it just hit me like a lightning bolt when I saw this one, because today's world we live in is so dark and gloomy and negative. So one of my visions is to bring hope and color into the dark world that we live in. So that is something that I just think
So good.
we need. We need rays of sunlight. We need people that have positive energy. And then the other one is I allow myself to make decisions that prioritize my mental health. Mental health is so prevalent today, and there are so many people that need help and support. And unfortunately, some of our healthcare system ways of being, not everything is covered by insurance. So we just need to be extra cautious, kind, how we talk to people, because our words can be daggers to someone and trigger them into a downward spiral. So be kind always. Everyone matters. You matter. I matter. So let's make sure that we are as positive and supportive of others as well as ourselves. Do not forget yourselves. The power of affirmations. There are 6 P's to affirmations. And I normally would ask, but for the sake of time, I'll just go ahead and share because I'd like to speak on each one of them. So the 6 P's are possible, power, present, personal, positive, and passion. Which one of those 6 resonates the most with you?
Passion.
Yeah.
I am so wholeheartedly with you guys because passion is what lights us up. So you're going to do something that you're passionate about. Yes, the other P's are important too, but I think the last one, passion, is the most important. Possible means you must have an affirmation that you can attain. You don't want just to say, I am going to be a certified therapist in a month. That's not really feasible. That's a little eager, but you don't necessarily have to believe your affirmation 100% yet, but you at least have to have some kind of reason to believe in it. Next one is power. Your affirmation must be within your control. So that goes back to what I was saying. You can't do, you can, but it's not meant to be that way. It's an I am statement usually. Does anyone have an I am statement that they would want to share?
I am powerful.
And the beautiful
I am learning to love myself.
That absolutely. Those are great, and they actually have to do with you, not the outside world. Present. So when you're writing an affirmation, it should be in present tense. You don't want to say I was, because then that's in the past. You don't want to do I am lonely, that's not positive. That is, so we just need to work on being present and act as if it's happening right now. Personal. We already talked about it and we've said I am, but we will just say the I statement is crucial. Keep your affirmations focused on yourself and not on outside of yourself. Positive. Positive affirmations should be positive. I mean, then they would be counterproductive. So focus on what you do want, not on what you do not want. A lot of people focus on what they don't want. And that's where we need to reframe our mind to say, I am powerful, like Crystal said. I am enough. I am beautiful inside and out. Anything of that is super powerful and it will help reframe the day for you. I'm going to give you an example. Instead of I am not yelling at my kids, say I am speaking to my kids constructively and lovely. So you've now changed it from a bad thing, which is yelling, but now we're looking at something. I'm giving them feedback to help them be a better child or a person in the future. So it's not going to just affect you, it's affecting your kids. And then our last favorite one is passion. The key ingredient to effective affirmations is to feel it. The emotional response to your affirmation statement is what allows your brain to create new wires. And I'm now going to go into questions. How many P's do we have for affirmations?
6.
That is correct. Now I'm not going to have enough to give everyone. I'm giving it to Cynthia because I heard her. Now I'm going to ask for you to, after here, kind of spend some time, 5 minutes, coming up with 2 or 3 affirmations that you'd like to recite to yourself daily. And I'd love to be in contact to hold you accountable for this. So please feel free to DM me or message me if you have my number. You can find me on Instagram as The Real Miss Cass, and I will support you on your affirmation journey. All right. So The Real Miss Cass. Cass is spelled with a K, so it's TheRealMS, not spell it out, KASS. And thank you again. Here's my contact information for those that are virtual. I truly appreciate it. And if you have any questions, I'll bring.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing, Cass. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh, I was sitting there like literally edge of my seat. Like I was literally the edge of my seat. And so we had some questions that came up around like the affirmations because it was so cool. First of all, I love how you spoke on why they're important and how they shift your life. How have you found them like shifting your life? Let's say you wake up one morning, and you're maybe you're having a rough night, right? What type of affirmations are you saying, or what are you doing that's gonna shift, and how do you feel that shift come through?
So that's an excellent question. It's actually something that I struggled with in the beginning because I was not a firm believer of affirmations and saying them. So it's super powerful to be in front of a mirror and actually say it out loud, not just once, but multiple times, because as you're saying it, it becomes more like believable. Mm-hmm. So there are days that I've had where I just want to stay in bed. I was like, I am going to be productive by getting myself ready for the day.
Yes. Oh, I love that, because then it's like you're telling your brain what to do, what you were going to do, right? Mm-hmm. Because the brain it's wanting to do whatever it wants to do, right? It's living its best life, or it wants to like be safe or whatever it is. And you're saying, I am going to live a productive day. Oh my gosh. And it's gold, because then when you do it, I did it. Right, exactly.
I changed my mindset.
And you told your brain to trust yourself. Yes. That's what the affirmations are about. So how did you get into creating? Because I know you said people can DM you and you can support them on their affirmation journey. How did you get into helping to create affirmations that others can actually step into? Because I know I know not you, but I know when someone's first starting off, maybe they've never done affirmations before, or they're like, oh, that's not a thing. What am I, because I got in the mirror and I said, I am positive, now I'm positive. People do stuff like that, right? And those people are the ones, sometimes they need the support because they're saying that thing, but they're also thinking, wow, look how this person.
Yes, absolutely. I was that naysayer. I was that negative Nancy that said this does not work. And then when you just practice it, whether you believe it or not, that's why I said when you believe it a little bit and you think it's attainable, it can be done. You just have to continue doing it. As I always say, practice makes perfect or whatever. You just need to practice and do the messy action to get yourself to a better place.
Ooh, that is gold. I literally, at one point, I remember what you said. I literally had goosebumps on both arms. I was like, "You, I feel this." It was wild because the thing is, it's like even seeing, as you talked about the trauma that you've gone through in your life, and then taking that and being able to shift it. And I love how you talked about how you get to support what someone's doing in therapy, right? We're not saying, oh, get rid of that, walk out the door and take your affirmations. You're saying, you know what? In addition to that, we have these amazing coloring books. I was looking through the coloring book. I have a coloring. I have one of the coloring books, and I'm not even a colorer. And I was like, ooh, go ahead and because there's something therapeutic about it. There's something that feels good about it.
You're going back to your childhood memories, and usually your childhood memories of coloring or being a kid and playful just lights us up with joy.
Yes.
So,
and it feels good too, right? Even if you're a color outside the line person, it feels good to just be able to play, right? Exactly.
I'm not perfect.
I'm with you. And when I say color outside the line, I probably didn't know the lines were there as a kid. But I love that you're able to create that for adults too. And I'm gonna get one for my daughter too, because we get to color together. We get to create that together, and it's a shift, and it feels good, and it's a way to support each other.
And
Have you noticed?
mommy's present with her daughter. Because
Yes.
the kids at times they say, "Mommy's too busy" or "Daddy's too busy. He's always working." This is a way you can connect and you both relax and just enjoy each other's space.
Exactly, and share what each other is doing together. It's gold. So your next coloring book you have 2 coloring books out currently.
Currently, I have 2 coloring books.
Yes.
The third one will be out before the end of the year.
Ooh, yes. And the 2 she's already shown you. What are the titles again?
So the first one that came out is Confidence Affirmations, and the
Someone
second
stole that one.
it's okay. The other one's over there. And the second one is Self-Improvement Affirmation. The third title, I can give you the surprise. It's Motivation Affirmations. And I think it just confidence and self-improvement and motivation, they all tie in together and they just are super powerful. So thank you again.
And they shift. They help us to shift. Even the way that we're looking at things. I mean, it's one thing to say the affirmation, right? Which is amazing, right? That's already a shift because now the brain is starting to believe it. And then when you prove it right, that you actually are doing the thing, the brain is like, oh, I can trust her again. And now you're actually coloring it. You're actually creating the affirmation. Because in order to be drawing in this, you have to read it. Oh, I'm proud of my body. Yes, that is. Open right up to it. But as you're doing, you're coloring it and you're constantly taking it in. This is gold. This is absolute gold. I love this so much. And so what made you decide to create coloring books?
So coloring actually was one way for me to get over the hard times, but it wasn't the only person that was around me that needed this. And Kindness with Cass, actually, I dedicated to my sister, Christina, just because there have been some struggles. And this is something that lifted her spirits in addition to some other things, but coloring together was always a fun time.
Oh my goodness, I love that. I'm so excited about this. I'm gonna put this on. Where do they get them from you directly? Or?
They can get them from me directly. There is going to be a contact form that will be sent out in the recap email
Mhm.
where you can ask your questions and then I can share how to buy them.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. And these are absolutely amazing. Okay, so we are definitely obviously getting the coloring books. That's a given, right? And just getting into like folks, I know you mentioned DMing you. What's another so let's say someone doesn't have Instagram. What's another way that folks can get in touch with you? Because you were someone that I know people are gonna want to connect with.
So there's actually the website that's listed online. It's Kindness with Cass. Both of them have K's. .shop, and there will be a contact form that you can reach out to me, and I'd be able to respond to you.
Yes. So we get to see how not only, art and coloring can help to shift, positive affirmations get to help to shift, and even just being around someone who has shifted and done tons of certifications around the process and really stepping into your authentic self, being that, even that model and being in the sphere of that model, right? And that energy is gold.
There will be a membership coming out in October where you can join us, and we have several calls throughout the month where if you do join, you'll get a gift on the house for the initial sign up, and we will be coloring and chatting together.
Yes, that is amazing. So, I mean, if you have not already, definitely get into the contact form, kindnesswithcass.shop. And, I mean,
Let's go.
hopefully there's enough coloring books for everyone because we all know that I'm buying some for me and all my family. So there's that. So hopefully there's enough for the rest of y'all. No, but definitely get your coloring book. And this membership sounds amazing. To be able to have that support as you're going through this process, the support going through and understanding the affirmations and going through and starting to believe it and see that you can do it is gold, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I look forward to spending some time with all of you, and feel free to reach out.
Definitely. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
I'm very actually
I'm holding you to it. It's now on the camera.
Right. I am not joking. Right. Like, because we're gonna be traveling, me and my baby, and so we're gonna color them together on the flights and stuff. And this is fun. It's amazing. And I've never been one to color.
Yeah.
Even as a kid.
I was so jealous of those people who were good colors.
Oh goodness. Right.
So
I was all outside the lines. So, okay. So everyone, this has been amazing. In a second we're gonna go into our commercial break and then get started with our next speaker. But I'm just so thankful to be in a space where we've brought together such amazing speakers. I mean, the thing that what Kaz was speaking about around the affirmations. Many times we think that we're doing the affirmations. We're like, oh, I heard you do this affirmation. I am going to create world peace. And it's just like, we don't know. Like, it's like having the guide to show us really how to do it is so necessary, because many times it seems like a simple thing to be able to do, but there's a process. There's the six P's is something I know I've never heard before. So really digging deep into that process to begin to prove your brain, to show to your brain or prove to yourself that you can actually do a thing and stick to it is going to be gold, right? So listen, you got some major gems has been shared already today. And so want to make sure that you want to get into the space where you can engage with these speakers and ask questions. They're all in our group. So text the word day 2 to 443-594-7733. You should see it across the screen as well. Unless you're on Instagram, then you might just want to hurry up and get in the group, so then you'll see it across your screen too, right? And you also want to be in the room, right? Because when you think about it, you all are seeing these amazing speakers, and you're seeing that virtually. What you're not experiencing is what we're doing before we get in here and what we're doing after. We had an incredible restorative yoga session this morning led by Noria McGrath, right? And I mean, I was getting my makeup done during it, and I watched, and I felt like I was feeling what they were, like I walked through, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. Like I could feel the energy of what was happening in those moments, and these are the things that we get to do when we're here in person, when you are in the room, right? Because even afterwards, we're going to be yes, we are going to be having lunch made by our private chef downstairs, Jada Prince, Sassy Chef. It's amazing. And then following that, we're going to have another session. We're talking about how to host profitable retreats. So this is where I'm up there. I'm sharing. We're doing this, and we're learning and growing together. And then an amazing dinner. And then tonight, we are having a belly dancing session by April Lamar. Now, I know I don't have all the moves yet, right? But I've got a little something, and she's gonna be like, okay, well, you move the right part of your body. And now just make some shifts. Just make some shifts, right? And I'm like, I got it. And she's like, kind of, And so, and at some point through that, she's like, oh, you do have it. And whether she's telling the truth or not, I'm going to believe it, right? I'm going to decide that I have it. And so, and these are the kinds of things that we get to do when you're in the room. What other retreat are you going to where you are learning how to create first of all, you're speaking on a stage as a wellness entrepreneur in front of 70,000 plus people. Then you get to learn how to host positive or profitable retreats. And then in addition to that, you get to do restorative yoga and belly dancing, right? Like, where's Ann karaoke all last night? If you guys watch live, a little bit of that. We get to have fun, and you get to share, build relationships, community, and learn how to make some money. Like, all that together? Really? Yes, that's who we are. That's what we're doing. So, if you want to be in the room, again, text the word ILICA to 443-594-7733, or just get in my DMs. If you're watching this, you know how to get in contact with me. So get in the DMs, comment. I want to be in that room, because we are doing this again in February 1st through the 4th. So you want to be in the room. You want to take advantage of these opportunities. And I didn't mention this because I didn't want y'all to be too jealous, but we have an amazing photography and videographer here, BCP Detroit, also our sponsors, who are putting on a whole show, right? I mean, when y'all see my pictures and my videos, I'm just saying, right? We have this all here today. This is a game changer, right? This is a huge shift. So, and of course, you'll see our sponsor commercials in a second, but definitely want to be in the room, be in the Facebook group, and be a part of this community, all right? Whether you're here as a speaker or you're here as a guest, you're gaining so much. So text the word ILICA and get in this room in February. Because right now you're missing it, and you don't want to be that person missing it again. You want to be here, all right? So pull out your phone and pretend this is my phone. I don't have my phone because my phone is on Instagram, but pretend it's your phone. Get out and text that word. Text ILICA to 443-594-7733, right? Do you do this on text anymore? I don't feel like we do, but oh yes, this is how we text. And sometimes I text like this, right? Like it's that rotary phone. That's how I was texting. But get out your phone, yes, and text the word ILICA to 443-594-7733, and be in this room in February. Invest in yourself. Decide that you want to be visible as a speaker, as a wellness entrepreneur. You want to host profitable retreats. Or you want to be in a room with some amazing experts in the wellness space, from financial wellness to transformational healing, to health and wellness, right? To physical fitness. Like, you want to be in the room with people who are leading in those spaces, right? So we will see you there. So let's go to our commercials, and we will be right back. What's the other one they're struggling with?
They struggle with not being able to effectively nurture and manage the leads that you've worked so hard to get.
Well, if that is you, then let us tell you something. All right, so first, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Ilika Follette, and I'm a wellness business strategist who works with overworked pros looking to move away from the chasing the grind to monthly recurring revenue. And we do this by working less, living more, and feeling better.
And I'm Carmela Wilson. I'm Ilika Follette. I am an automation expert, and we've put our heads together and founded Wellness Growth Pro just for you. We talked about the issues earlier of generating leads, nurturing those leads, and managing 17 million different systems. Well, we have a solution that is a complete game changer for the industry. And it is called Wellness Growth Pro, and I think you can tell them all about it.
So Wellness Growth Pro, like Carmela said, is going to change your business. Here's the thing, right? I was in the wellness community. I was a health and wellness coach, fitness trainer for about 7 years. I found myself constantly working on my business, constantly trying to create my landing pages, and then my landing pages are in this system, and then my email system's in this system. I'm trying to get them all to talk, right? I found myself constantly doing all these things and not having enough time to actually do what I love to do, which was coach my clients, help them achieve their goals.
Been there.
Yep, exactly. And so now with Wellness Growth Pro, we get to shift all that for you. We've got a system that brings everything together for you, and we've got the support that you need to ensure that you get to manage your business.
That's right. You don't just get the system, you get our brains, and you get the support you need to get up and running fast. We're not here just trying to collect a monthly subscription.
We're putting people in an environment where they're doing something they haven't tried at all before. They're uncomfortable, it's a little embarrassing, they haven't done it before, and then they're gonna get coached. And then they're gonna go from throwing an axe that is not gonna hit anything to throwing an axe that hits target to throwing an axe that hits the bullseye. From uncomfortable to comfortable to badass, just with a little bit of coaching. Following rules. People are always arguing about masterminds, and then they do something boring like have hors d'oeuvres, and then people are supposed to, quote, get to know each other. But if you hear any of that screaming and yelling in the background, what you actually hear is a real live connection.
I was referred by an insider who invited me and told me about it and believed in me. And I said, is this really a good fit for me as a service provider?
So that's why we do something completely extraordinary like axe throwing. And Excalibur is an amazing place to do it.
She said, yes, I 100%, this is good. So I connected with Donna, and Donna and I had a conversation that was supposed to be 15 minutes. It ended up being 1 hour. And I just learned so much about Donna's resilience, her history, the things that she's been through, and how, through her experience, she's managed to build businesses that are like $2.5 million.
I walk away with so much more value than I sit with. I'm ready to next my business to a whole different level, all because of being a part of Fire Savvy before it was Fire Savvy.
I was able to have the experts in the room give me a crystal clear, or help me to come up with a crystal clear niche, customer, and what I provide and how I should provide it. And it was really helpful. It gives me clarity in order to promote my business and to make sure that not only the client is right for me, that I'm right for the client. And it really helps me focus and be the best person that I can be in my line of business.
And I realized these are my people. When I saw how Donna and Chanel interacted with the group, and the group was interacting, I was like, gosh, I think I really want to be a part of this type of an event.
I just went to Chanel and I said, hey, I think this is doing okay, but I know it could be doing a whole lot better. And I'm looking for a coach to help me break through the ceiling that I feel like I've hit. And yeah, I really I've watched Chanel blossom, the difference between where she was in her business when we first met just 2 years ago and where she is now. And just watching her was a testimony. Your $1 million idea literally is in this room. Donna and I literally have handpicked each one of you. We build wealth through relationships. How many of y'all are excited about building wealth through relationships? What's so funny is they think before they do this that they are so crystal clear on their message. I thought that was raising the bar, and I was told yesterday that I am not a bar raiser. I am following the standard. I think I'm kind of in the middle. And then what happens is they realize there are holes in their messaging. I work with empty nesters to stage and list their homes for a maximum amount of profit and minimum amount of stress. There was like this whole moment where she's like, a complete aha moment. Yeah, she had a complete wait a minute moment. And then I go, that's not how you serve. So you have to say something. We package your words in a way that matter. Our guests are amazing badasses and powerhouses in their business. They do have the capacity to 10x their business.
We turn experts into sought-after media authority. The fact that you take medication, you already believe that it's doing something.
I work with high-achieving women who want to enjoy the increase in their wealth and master their money like a boss.
No. These are established entrepreneurs that haven't had the opportunity, rather, to sit and have somebody just really look at their business in a very insightful, unique way. Okay, so pack up your stuff. We gonna party, dance. Open bar starts at 6-ish. Very casual. If y'all want to go to the pajama song, hang out in the pool, whatever. I'm a little tired, a little bit, just burnt from the past couple of days. My heart is full, being able to just be in the room, witness the transformation. I'm excited for the business owners that were here in their transformation. And I can't wait to hear all of the great news and updates we're going to be getting over the next couple of weeks, just from them being able to add 10x exercise to their business.
Need some motion and natural. But yes, you all saw us come back, so welcome. Okay, so welcome. We're so happy to be back. We're so happy that you are here and that you have joined us, because we're getting ready for our next speaker. In the meantime, definitely want to share with you, if you are watching on Instagram or YouTube or even LinkedIn, then what's happening is you're not able to ask questions to the speakers, right? So when after each speaker, I get up here and I'm like, hey girl, they were asking questions and here's the question, right? And you might have been asking on YouTube, but we didn't see it. Yet we do see the questions that come through in the Facebook group at GPS to Success. And so when you text the word day 2, so DAY space 2, number 2, to 443-594-7733, which you'll see across the screen throughout our conversations, right? When you text that number, what's going to happen is we're going to send you the link to join the Facebook group. And then we're going to go into the Facebook group like real fast and let you in, so then you can go ahead and ask your questions. And now you get to engage with the speakers. Also, keep in mind, all of these speakers are in the Facebook group. All right, so they're in there. So now you get to be a part of their ecosphere. On top of that, when you text day 2, you'll also be able to get an email at the end of the day with the recap, with the speakers, with contact information, how to get in touch with them, with their offer, with how to get their gift that they're gifting to you. So you'll have that opportunity, and that's exactly how we get to step things up into that next level, like how you get to take advantage of the transformation that these experts are offering to you, right? If you think about it, and actually I'll even use my own story. growing up, or even as an adult, after having 4 kids, mom of 4, right? Corporate, all the things, and I'm here with it, right? We talk about I am superwoman. Everyone's saying it. Like everywhere I go, oh my gosh, Alika, you're superwoman. How on earth do you have 4 kids and you have your own and you're an executive at a Fortune 100 company and you also have a real estate business? Wow, how do you do it? And I walked around, I just do it, and I'm holding it like a badge of honor, right? I'm superwoman. Yet I turn around like every night, passed out, so tired, right? Because I have been running all day and I have no clue what happened during the day. I'm not present. I'm like, life was just lifing and I couldn't even stop to notice. And that was where I lived, right? And so because of that, if I continue to think if I had experts like Gila talking about the power of play, right? And how to bring that play and that joy back into my life. It'd be gold. It would be it's what I needed as an executive at a Fortune 100 company, right? With 4 freaking kids, right? Love these people. Mind you, they're my favorite people in the world, not even pretending, right? I haven't seen them in a week and it's actually like heart palpitations right now. I can't handle not being around. I adore these people. But at that time, they were 1, 3, 5, and 8. That's a different world than it is right now, right? And so during that, it was a really tough time. Had I known, Gila at the time, bringing in the power of play, that would have been a game changer for me. Had I connected, or actually had I been honest with one of my closest friends in the world, Noria, about never choosing me, she could have helped me, guided me through some of that, right? Guided me through bringing self-care into my life. Had I known Cass talking about, going from trauma to joy, bringing in affirmations, right? I could have shifted there. Had I spoken to mental health therapist and transformational coach, Yvette Howard, about my relationship style, my journey to self-love, which barely existed, right? I knew there was a journey somewhere. I just wasn't on it, just wasn't on it. Here's the journey, I'm over here, And that is where I lived about 7 years ago. And so we get to shift. Having these experts, we get to shift, right? And now we have another expert coming up soon in a second, Jessica McLean. And she's going to be, I mentioned her earlier, I mentioned her yesterday. She's going to mention her today. She's going to mention what she does today. But she's going to get up here and talk about money mindset, financial wellness. How many times have you been in a situation where you're doing really well, right? The money is coming in. You're doing amazing. You're that multi-6-figure coach or multi-6-figure executive. And yet, every time you get to a certain point, you're like, you know what? I think I got too much money. I'm going to throw it on all the way, right? Let me buy this $700,000 Lamborghini because I need everybody to know that I got money, even though I can't afford this $700,000 Lamborghini. And it's like, what's causing that? Jessica's going to share that with us today because it's something that we need to hear, honestly. And we need to understand the way Yvette talked about understanding our relationship and our attachment styles. We need to understand our relationship with money. How's your attachment style? Oh my gosh, I just saw something. How's your attachment style affecting your relationship with money? It's a game changer. So I'm super excited about Jessica coming up here. And what I want to share with you is you want to be in that group asking questions as Jessica is delivering, and you want to make sure you text the word. I guess it's 2 words-ish. It's like a word and a number. But either way, text day 2 to 443-594-7733. And you're going to be able to actually ask questions and be in the ecosphere of these amazing coaches. All right. These amazing experts in their field. So Jessica, come to the stage. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you here.
Oh, I got a theme song, y'all.
Okay, she got a theme song. Hey. Oh, hey. Yes. I was like, we gotta do it. We gotta do it.
Yes.
We gotta do it, right?
I love it.
All right. Well, welcome, everyone. My name is Jessica McLean, and this is the Wealthy Queen Mindset, creating radical revenue growth without overwhelm. Are my slides coming up?
They're on. They're coming up for them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not gonna be here.
It's not going to be behind you, but they see
Fabulous.
it
So
every
it's just
second.
my imaginary slides. And my imaginary. All right. Beautiful. All right. Well, question for you, Alita.
Mhm.
Is it okay if I make a small mess?
Wait, is it going to? Are you have to vacuum it up?
No.
Okay. Then it's fine.
Perfect. All right. So for those of you who don't know, which is probably everybody, I used to be a first grade teacher. So this is going to be an interactive conversation, if that's okay with y'all. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fabulous. All right. I'm not going to talk at you while you sit in your policy. All right. So a little bit about me. I am my name is Jessica McLean. I am the Wealth Mindset Queen. I'm a speaker and mindset mentor for women with multi-million-dollar visions. Is that anybody in this room?
Yes.
All right. What's up? I'm in the right place. All right. So a little bit about how I came to be here standing in front of you. So a few years ago, I sold a rental property that I owned, and I made over $100,000 cash in a single day. Y'all, it was one of the most exciting days of my life, and I decided to start making it rain like Fat Joe. Okay, so first I wrote a check to my church that was so big they sent me a letter saying thank you. Then I wrote a check to pay off them student loans. Okay, which is a good thing because that whole forgiveness thing didn't work out so much, did it? Right. Then I wrote a check, paid off my car loan. Peace out, Toyota Financial. Then I wrote a check to my friend who needed some money and never paid me back. And then I decided I'm gonna buy myself another rental property. Okay. So I looked for another rental property, didn't find one that I wanted, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna buy myself a house. So I found this beautiful house. 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a big yard, this beautiful deck in the back, and it was perfect for a couple that had 2 kids and a dog. Except that I was single, I had no kids, and y'all, I don't even like dogs. So I had to have a conversation with myself, a little come to Jesus conversation with myself. And I said, Jessica, what are you doing? If you keep acting like you Jeff Bezos already, you're going to run out of money in about 30 days. Okay. Now, how do you go from $137,000 in one day to none of it in 30? All right. I learned that day that even though I had learned a strategy for how to make money, I did not have a good relationship with money, which meant I had beliefs, I had thoughts, and I had feelings that were running contrary to having a massive bank account. And if I didn't get them in line with the vision that I had for wealth, I was going to go ahead and throw all my money right out the window. Okay, can anybody relate to something like that? Yes, right? So I needed to up-level my relationship with money. So instead of investing in a $400,000 house I didn't need, I invested in learning how to cultivate a healthy money mindset. And now I teach other women to do the same, creating results like going from one frustrated assistant to building a dream sales team, going from exhausted and burnt out to having so much energy she woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and ran a mile. I've never done that before, but I'm gonna tell you that's pretty great. All right. And making a year's worth of revenue in a single quarter. Now, what I'm going to teach you today is going to help you position yourself to do the same. Would that be all right with you?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Let's go. Okay, so here's what we usually think. We usually think that if you're feeling frustrated, like, I know that I have the capacity to make a whole lot more money than I'm making right now, that my skill, my ability, my potential is huge, but I'm not there yet. And I'm feeling frustrated because I'm not reaching my full potential. Or if you're feeling confused, like you're making great money, but then at the end of the month or the end of the year, you're like, where did it all go? What happened to it? Money, why did you leave me? Right. Or if you're feeling overwhelmed, like you're making great money, but oh, it is so much work to make it. We think, I've just got to learn how to manage my time then. That's what it is. Or we think, I've just got to get better at saving. I need a budget. I got to call Tiffany Alicia, right? Mm-hmm. Or we think, you know what? I need an accountability partner. Somebody to get on my behind and make sure that I get things done.
Now, all of those things would help, but none of them would solve the real problem, which is that the key to creating the wealth that you want is in your relationship with money. Your relationship with money determines all of your financial outcomes: how much you make, how much you spend, how much you keep, how much debt you have, how much you invest, and how much energy and effort it takes you to make the money that you're making. Okay? So there are 4 components of your relationship with money, and I'm going to need y'all to help me out a little bit with this one. So if you wouldn't mind standing up real quick. We got it? We got it? Okay. All right. So I'll do it. You do it. Ready? Okay. Blueprint. Yes. Container. Systems. Strategies. Blueprint. Container. Systems. Strategies. Okay. Teach it to somebody around you. Fantastic. All right. You can sit down. Thank you. All right, getting that audiovisual kinesthetic in your body increases your retention of information by over 50%. So we like to get it all in our bodies, okay? So those are the 4 components of your relationship with money. Your blueprint is your beliefs, thoughts, and feelings about wealth, wealthy people, and about yourself, okay? Your container is your capacity to receive, and that's where we're going to focus most of our attention today, okay? The 3rd is your systems, which is how you manage what comes in. And the 4th is your strategies, which is the specific actions that you're taking to bring money into your life. Now, we tend to focus most of our time and attention on strategy, right? What do I need to do to make more money, right? Or how to manage my money? What strategies do I need to create the wealth that I want? But for those of you who are, how many mindset coaches or life coaches do we have in the room? Mindset coaches, life coaches, yes. All right. Can we agree that mindset's everything?
Everything.
Absolutely, right? So we spend most of our time on strategy, but what's really controlling everything is what's going on in here. Yeah? So let's talk about your wealth container. Your wealth container, okay? So I like to say you have a shot glass in your brain, okay? And that shot glass holds the amount of money that you are able to make and to hold consistently. So let's say, for example, that your shot glass holds $30,000 a month, okay? So let's put $30,000 in this glass here. So now I made $30,000, fantastic, it's been a great month, everything's good, right? But then I come to Ailika's retreat. And you know Ailika's gonna teach me a killer strategy for making more money, right? Yes, absolutely. So after Ailika's retreat, I go home, I implement, and I have an $80,000. Fantastic. I'm excited. I'm feeling great. And then I go, okay, $80,000. Amazing. How much of the money actually landed in the glass? None of it, right? Why?
Wrong mindset.
Yeah, because it's upside down. This is resistance. Okay? This is resistance. Resistance is caused by guilt, shame, and fear. When we have guilt, shame, or fear around money, around making money, or around spending money, or around having money, we will actually block money out. So in a practical sense, what does this look like? It looks like you invite people to your retreat and they say, oh yeah, on the phone, and then they never call you back. Right? Or they pay and then they change their sign up, right? And then they change their minds, they back out, or you get a charge back and you're like, why? Right? Or you get on the phone with people and they're like, oh, that sounds great. I gotta think of it. Right? Okay. Or you made $80,000, but you could have made $100,000, but you felt guilty for charging so much, so you settled. Right? That's resistance. Okay? Now let's say that you're not in resistance, right? So you had a $30,000 month. You came to Ailika's retreat. The stuff she said was bomb. Now you made $80,000. How much of that stayed in the glass? Right. Almost none of it, right? This is sabotage. Okay? So what does sabotage look like? Sabotage looks like after you made that $80,000, you went and bought an online course but never actually watched the videos, right? Then you went and hired that coach that you've been following for 5 years that makes $20 million a year, but they charge you $30,000 and you don't have $30,000, so now you're in debt. Okay? This is those Facebook ads that you bought, but you didn't have a solid strategy, so you ended up wasting a lot of money experimenting, and your ROI wasn't super high. And this is the money that you spent delegating. Finally, except you weren't really clear on what you were looking for. So the people you hired didn't quite work out and you ended up wasting money trying to find the right person when you could have just done it yourself, right? This is the money you spent DIYing something, realizing you were terrible at it, and then having to go hire someone. This is the vacation that you took with your family. This is the home renovation project. You finally updated your bathroom, right? And so on and so on and so on. Okay? This is sabotage, right? So we call the money in and we're like, yes, I got it. And then the money finds a way to leave, which, if you remember, is what happened to me. Yeah. Okay. Or we're not in resistance, we're not in sabotage, but oh my gosh, making money is like, oh, okay, I got another 1,000. All right. And then I got another 1,000. Oh, and then, okay, I got another 1,000. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, Lord, I'm so tired. Oh, I need to go to Alika's retreat so I can take a nap. Okay. So then we stay exactly where we are because it's so much work and we're too tired to make more money. We're too tired to get more money. We're too tired. For more to say, leave me alone. Okay. So what we have is a container problem, right? But what's the solution? What's the solution to that problem?
Bigger container.
We need a bigger container. Yeah. Do you think I could fit 30 grand in here? The 30 grand? Yeah. You think I could fit more than 30 grand in here? Yeah, a whole lot more. So the goal is to go from a shot glass to a jar, to a pitcher, to a bucket, to a tanker truck, to the ocean, right? Because the possibilities are limitless. We're limitless and money is limitless, right? So that's the goal, is to expand our container, our capacity to receive. So let's talk about how we do that. Now, in order to expand your capacity to receive, you need a wealthy queen mindset. So let's talk about what that entails, okay? All right. So in order to cultivate a wealthy queen mindset, you need to level up in 4 specific areas, okay? The first is your self-worth. The second is your self-trust. The third is your vulnerability. And the fourth is your systems, okay? And we'll talk about each one of those in turn. So self-worth. Now, when it comes to self-worth, a lot of us, we're coaches already. We've done lots of mindset work. We've been to therapy. So we know that we're worthy of what we want, right? But those sneaky self-worth gremlins like to come in and say things like, oh, of course you're worthy of your $1 million goal. But first, you need to get another certification, read another book, hire another coach, win another award so people think that you're great, right? Get your hair together, lose 12 pounds. What do you need to do? What's your but first, right? I'm worthy of it, but first I need to change something, do something, fix something, right? Become something more in order to be ready for it, right? So our but firsts are one of the conditions that we put on our success, okay? Second is our not enoughs. Those places where we feel like we're not good enough. Maybe we're comparing ourselves to someone else. Maybe we're looking at someone else's Instagram and feeling like, oh my God, look at her, look at me. And I just, right? That feeling of like, oh, we're not good enough. Sometimes our not enoughs are not even about us. Sometimes our not enoughs are, I haven't worked hard enough to justify being this successful. I have not suffered enough. It didn't take me long enough. And it took other people a long time and it was hard for them. And even though I am so smart and talented and awesome, even though people don't like it when I admit it, I am so smart and talented and awesome that me at 50% is somebody else's 100 because I'm a high achieving woman, right? Things are not as difficult for me all the time as they are for other people. And that makes me feel like a jerk. So I sabotage. Because then I feel like if I struggle and I make it hard for myself, I can justify. I can say, I got it out the mud, just like you. I'm relatable, right? Right? Or we have our too muches. Our too muches. If I make too much money, I'll be too much for men. And they won't want to date me because they get intimidated with their tiny egos that are really big, right? They get intimidated. They won't want to date me. Or I'm already in a relationship and my man is going to get all weird. If I'm too successful, if I'm too much, right? Or maybe we feel like we'll be too much for our friends. Oh, if I'm too successful, my friends are going to feel like I'm not relatable. I can't relate to them, or they can't relate to me. And then we're going to be uncomfortable and things are going to be weird and I'm going to be alone. And if you know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, living, being alive, right? Safety, belonging, right on top. right? So we know physiological needs, safety needs, belonging needs. We need to feel like we belong. So if we feel like being too much is going to break our relationships and leave us alone, no, we throw that money all over the place, right? So the question for you is if self-worth is believing that you are worthy of what you want right now without condition. What? But first, not enoughs, where too much is. Are you ready to let go of it today? Take like 10 seconds to think about it. And then tell a friend if you're comfortable. Someone around you if you're comfortable. All right. Anyone want to share? Yeah, go ahead.
My butt first.
Your butt first? What's your butt first?
I need to get certified in something else.
Ah, yes. More certifications, more education. Yes, I love that. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to share? Yeah, sure.
If I'm too much, too big, too bold, people are not going to want to be around me.
Yeah, that pushing everyone away. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. We have the same actually, and I said that if being told you're too much most of your life has kind of pushed me down, being a bit smaller.
Yes.
I guess that's part of the belonging you mentioned as well.
Yeah, dimming your light, right? We're tempted to, we gotta stay small enough to fit in other people's boxes. How comfortable is that? Feels like crap, right? Yeah, terrible. All right, we're breaking out today, yes? Okay, let's go.
Yes.
All right, so number 2 in the Wealthy Queen mindset is self-trust. Self-trust. Now, we tend not to trust ourselves when we think that our success is gonna be a burden instead of a blessing, right? So sometimes that means that we think if I make too much money, I am not going to know how to manage it. And therefore, it's all going to fly out the window and I will not have any control over it. I actually just recently had a conversation with someone who said to me, Jessica, I feel like I'm bad with numbers. I'm bad with money. I'm bad with numbers. So if I make too much money, I'm not going to know how to handle it. I don't know how to manage it. I'm not going to be able to read my balance sheet, my P&L. I don't know. I could hire an accountant, but what if they're a scammer? What if they steal? What am I going to do? And here's the thing. That's a real concern, right? Yeah, people do that. That's a thing. And so when we don't trust ourselves with money, we keep our money small enough to feel manageable. Yeah. All right. Or sometimes we don't trust that we can handle all the people that it's going to require for us to get where we want to go, right? Because it's pretty difficult to make $1 million all by yourself. Would you agree? Yeah, absolutely, right? If your dream is bigger than you, then your team has to be too. Yeah, no such thing as a movement of one, right? So in order to trust ourselves, we have to trust that we can manage the people, which means the time it's going to take to manage people, the level of leadership it's going to take to manage people, dealing with people and their problems, whatever that is, right? Making the amount of money to keep paying our people so they can keep their jobs once we hire them on. We have to trust ourselves, and when we don't, we keep our businesses small enough that we don't our teams and our leadership. Yeah? Or sometimes we just don't trust that we can handle the way our relationships might change. Right? That feeling that your family's going to start treating you like an ATM and you find out how much money you have and you're not going to have the courage to say no or set boundaries. Right? So sometimes it's that fear that we can't handle the way our relationships will be affected by our success. But the truth is, you know that song, More Money, More Problems? Yeah. It's not quite true. It's not more money, more problems. It's more money, different problems. I got problems. You got problems. Oprah got problems. You want your problems or do you want Oprah's problems? Because you're going to have one of them, right? Okay. So it's not that we have to avoid problems because literally there is no way to unsubscribe, right? There's no block. There's no unsubscribe, no unfollow from the problems of life. As long as you are breathing, you are. Okay. So the question is, which problems do you want? You want your problems, Oprah's problems, or somewhere in between, right? You get to pick which problems you want to solve, and then you have to decide and become bigger than every problem. And when you become bigger than every problem, the problems that you have, they're not so big anymore. And then you can grow and grow without feeling like they're going to crush you. Yeah. So, another 10-second conversation. What's one problem that you could choose to be bigger than in your own life or business? Go ahead. Take a couple seconds, and when you're ready, go ahead and share with someone next to you. What's one problem that you could choose to be bigger than in your life? All right, anyone ready to share? You want to share out what's one problem that you could be bigger than? Yeah, please.
Not trusting myself to be consistent in my execution or set the right boundaries with people so that I can, manage whatever I declare to do.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to share? Huh?
Managing day-to-day expenses.
Yeah.
Not being
that's a
attached
big
to
one.
them.
That's a big one. Not being attached. Say more about that.
Not being attached to the outcome of having day-to-day expenses, like not letting it be an emotional attachment.
Yeah. Letting go of that. Yeah, that emotional. Oh my gosh, the money is going here. And what's going to happen? Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. So when we choose to be bigger than every problem, I like how T. Harv Eker says, right? Rich people are bigger than their problems. Poor people are smaller than their problems. So if your problem feels big, you got to get bigger, right? So if you're a level 5 person with a level 10 problem, how big is that problem to you? Pretty massive, right? If you're a level 5 person with a level 2 problem, how big is that problem to you? Right? So if you want to solve level 10 problems, become a level 11 person. Right? Yeah. All right. Let's go on to number 3, vulnerability. How many of you are familiar with Brene Brown? Yes. All right. I had a feeling. Okay. If you are, then you've heard that word many, many times. Vulnerability, as I define it, is allowing yourself to be seen and supported. Okay? Seen and supported. And in business, we have to allow ourselves to be seen and supported by 4 people, or in 4 ways. The first is by your own self, because sometimes we are not clear with ourselves about what it is that we truly want or how we really feel. I had a client once say to me, Jessica, my goal for our time together is to make my next $100,000. I said, perfect, we'll make it. Then a week later, she came back to me and she said, Jessica, I was just kidding. I wasn't quite being honest with myself, and if I'm really honest with myself, my goal is to make $1 million. But sometimes we don't allow ourselves to be and dream and think and want as big as what we truly do, because maybe we feel like it's not okay. Like, oh, I'm being greedy. Like, I shouldn't want that much. Or, oh, that's too much to ask for. Or, I'm being too demanding. Or there's something that's not okay about us being really honest about what we truly want to have or how we truly feel about things, right? So being vulnerable starts with yourself. What is it that you really want? How do you really feel? Because that is where your power is. Okay, number 2, your team. Being vulnerable with your team. Have you ever felt like if you want something done right, you should just do it yourself? Yes, I see lots of nods in the room. Yes, right? It is easier, it is faster, and it gets done the way you want it to get done. And if you don't like how it's done, you did it, so you can be mad at yourself, / you can fix it yourself, and it will be fine, right? Great. How many millions of dollars can you make with that idea? Like none. Right? None. Right? Absolutely not. Okay. Beyonce is not out here doing every single thing herself. Okay. Right? Okay. So you have to trust your team. Now, trusting your team starts with trusting yourself. Right? It starts with that vulnerability with yourself. Because if you're not clear on what you're looking for, it's going to be really hard to build the team that you need. Okay. A client of mine said to me, Jessica, I had this team and I had all these people helping me, but it turned out that they were all people that were trying to use my business as a springboard for their own. And as a result, it created a conflict. Right? When you're not clear about what you're looking for, you end up getting something that you don't want. Right? Or sometimes I had another client who said to me, Jessica, I had this assistant, but it was so hard to get her to do the things I needed her to do. Turned out that the assistant didn't want to be an assistant. and they were just helping this person as a favor to them.
No.
Right? So when we hire on friends, family members, people we like, right? Or people where we're not really clear about what we're looking for, what we need them to do, we're not really being clear with ourselves. We can't be clear with them. And if we can't be clear with them, we can't create what we need to create in the relationship and in the business. So being vulnerable with ourselves and then with our team is what allows us to build that dream team that's going to skyrocket our business. Okay? Third, your relationships. Now, as life coaches, as mindset coaches, we are the strong ones. We are the ones who hold space for other people to be, to feel, to vent, to scream, to be the amateur therapists, or maybe some of y'all are licensed therapists, I don't know, okay? But then when it comes to us, and we need to be, and to feel, and to scream, and to celebrate, because joy is just as vulnerable as pain and fear. We don't always have someone to go to, because we don't always cultivate those relationships with ourselves. I had a client of mine say to me, Jessica, my friends are just too busy to listen to my problems. And I said, what did they say when you told them you needed them to listen to you? And she said, I didn't ask. Light bulb. Light bulb. Another client of mine said, Jessica, I just feel like I don't have any friends. And we had the same conversation about vulnerability. And she started being vulnerable with the people that were already in her life. And she came back a couple weeks later and said, Jessica, I have so many friends. Oh my gosh, these people love me. It was amazing. She said, if I need anything, I literally have 10 different people I can call. The power of vulnerability allows us to not have to carry our burdens ourselves. And when you don't have to carry your burdens yourselves, you are lighter. And when you're lighter, you're freer, you're faster, and you can make the money that you want to make without feeling so weighed down. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, with your money. If money was your boyfriend, I know there are a whole lot of people who would get broken up with real fast. Okay? We avoid money. We ignore money. We complain about money. We always talk about what he ain't doing for us, right? We only talk to him when we need something. And besides that, we ignore him and we push him to the side, right? And then we go, why doesn't he want to hang out with me in really large quantities all the time? Why are my affirmations about money coming to me easily, effortlessly all the time? Where are they working? Would you want to date you if you treated you like you? No, right? No. We have these abusive relationships with money and we're like, why doesn't money love me? Because we're not loving it back. So getting vulnerable with our money means confronting the guilt, the fear, the shame, whatever other emotions we're feeling around money. Because what happens is, would you mind being wrong? Did you okay with that?
Love volunteering.
Yay! Okay. Can I have one more person get volunteer? Somebody vote. All right, come on. Let's go. Okay. All right. All right. Who wants to be money?
You be money.
Perfect. All right. So you get to be money. You get to be the emotion. So Garb had to grab her arm. There we go. Perfect. All right. Okay. Everybody see? We all good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So this is money, right? And my primary emotion related to money is fear. So this is now fear. Okay. Give us your best scared face. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So here's the thing. Would you guys slide to the right, please? Just a little bit. Thank you very much. Okay. So here's what happens. I say, oh my gosh, I went to Alika's retreat. I am going to do my own retreat. I sell my retreat out and I make so much money. And I'm like, money, come on over here. So money starts to come my way, right? But who's coming with the money? Who's coming with the money? Say with it. Who's coming with the money? Fear, right? Fear. So I've got the money, but guess what else I got? Fear. And the more money I have, guess what else I have more of? Fear, right? When I went from $20,000 a month, $20,000 in my bank account to $150,000 in my bank account, guess what? My fear went from here to here, right? I was terrified, y'all. I was excited, and then I was terrified. I literally daydreamed about the bank's computers malfunctioning and my money disappearing. And I was like, why am I thinking about this? Because I was scared. Okay, so here's what our brains like to do subconsciously, right? Our brains are like, fear is uncomfortable and I don't like it. So I want to get rid of the fear. Don't let it go. I want to get rid of the fear. So fear, go away. Fear, go away. Keep going. Fear, go away. Stay away. Fear, go away. Fear, go away. But here's what's happening as I'm getting rid of the fear.
The money's
I'm
going
getting
away.
rid of the money too, right? Because my brain thinks, okay, if fear and money are linked and I want to get rid of the fear, I have to get rid of the money too. So then what happens? We have this problem, right? Thank you. Applause for them. Beautiful and well done, right? So getting vulnerable with our money means having to look that fear in the face so that we can shift it, right? So we can take those limiting beliefs that are causing us to feel that fear and we can replace them with true and empowering ones, right? So that we can have joy with money instead of fear. So we can feel safe with money instead of fear. Yeah? Yeah. All right. So 10-second discussion. Who or what could you be more vulnerable with in your business? Where could you be more vulnerable? We talked about yourself, your team, your relationships, or your money. Where could you be more vulnerable? Go ahead, 10 seconds. Money, yeah. Money all around. Yeah. Money all around. Love it. The beautiful thing about getting vulnerable with our money is that a lot of times we avoid our money because we're afraid of the guilt, the shame, the fear, maybe the anger, maybe self-beat up a little bit if we're a perfectionist. Okay, right? Okay. But so we avoid looking at the information because we're afraid of the shame that we're going to feel, right? But knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Because if we look at the information in front of us and we say, this is my day one, now I get to decide what my day 100 gets to look like. And that gets to be exciting, right? It's kind of like if you had, let's just say you had a weight loss goal, right? And you stood on the scale and you're like, this is not the number I wanted to see. But if this is your day one, imagine how sexy you're going to be on day 100. Okay? And that gets to be exciting. Because if you started day one with no information, then you don't know how much progress you're making. You can't celebrate and you can't adjust, right? So knowledge is power. I like to tell my clients the numbers are your friend. The numbers are your friend. They are your friend because they give you what you need to be able to know where you're going and to be able to have control over the outcome that you're looking for. Okay? All right. Number 4, systems. Systems. A wealthy queen has systems. In your business, you need systems for managing 4 things. The first is your time. Second is your money. Third is your energy. Fourth is information. Okay? Time, money, energy, and information. Now, systems are the practical way that you avoid overwhelm. Because a lot of times what happens is we hustle our way to 6 figures. We are so smart and we have so much energy and we work so hard that we create incredible results, but we do it in a way that is kind of chaotic. And when we hustle our way to success, but we do it in a way where our back end is kind of messy, so we just close the door and we don't really look at it a whole lot, right? Then when we try to get to a point where we want more, that's where we hit our limit. Because that's where it gets so hard to make more money that we're just too tired. We're too tired. We're like, this is too much, I can't deal, right? So having systems for managing those 4 things is what will give us that peace of mind and make it easier for us to expand, because systems are expandable, like an accordion, right? Systems are expandable. Okay, so when we have systems for managing those 4 things, everything in our business will be easier and feel so much better. Now, if you have been listening to me and thinking to yourself, Jessica, I definitely need to expand my capacity to receive because I know that I've had container problems. I know that I've had my resistance moments and I've had my sabotage moments and I've had my overwhelm moments. And man, I really do need to expand my capacity to receive because I've got big goals and I'm ready to go. I have an invitation for you. Actually, I've got a 2-for-1 invitation for you, okay? The first is called Unclog Your Cash Flow. It is a free download that identifies the 5 biggest abundance blockers that get in the way of your next level of success. And it gives you a 30-day plan to break through to your next level, okay? Women have actually downloaded this and told me, like, I started doing it and literally just started getting checks in the mail. Like money just started showing up. It was crazy. I was like, amazing, right? So that was completely free. And I'll actually give you a QR code in just a moment to sign up for it. But if you'd like the link, it is subscribepage.com/cashflow now. Okay. Now, if you are thinking, Jessica, I want to go beyond 30 days. I want to accelerate my path to success because I know that I have massive goals and I want to kill it in Q4 and over the next 12 months. So if you want massive expansion in your business in the next 12 months without all of that overwhelm, resistance, self-sabotage, and you want support to get there because you know that if you don't do it by yourself, you're going to avoid all the potholes on the way, I have an invitation for you. And that is my Unleash one-on-one coaching program. We'll work together for either 3 or 6 months, up to you, and we'll work together one-on-one to go deeper on the things that we talked about today. I'll help you expand your wealth container without that overwhelm. I'll help you go deeper on your self-worth, your self-trust, your vulnerability, and develop those systems that are going to allow you to have all that energy, so much more productivity, so much more efficiency, and even more free time so that you can actually shut your laptop at 5 instead of being passed out on the couch at 8 p.m. with your laptop still in front of you and Netflix saying, are you still watching? Wishing that you could actually be cuddling with your man or out on a date, finding a new man, or just eating ice cream and watching Queen Charlotte, right? Okay. My client, Keisha, when she came to me, she was making $150,000 a year. She was exhausted. She was overwhelmed. And she was like, Jessica, I do not understand why I keep hitting this wall in my income. We worked on exactly these things: her self-worth, her self-trust, her vulnerability, and her systems. And as a result, not only has she made over $900,000 since we started working together, she also said, Jessica, I could wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm not even tired. She's also grown her team, a massive dream team of amazing salespeople that are killing it in her business. And she's literally on her way to make her $1 million year and a half in the next few months. So she has massively expanded her business and with less overwhelm. She's grown so much and she's so excited. I'm excited for her. I'm like, yes, it's our business and we win, right? Okay. So those are the kind of results that are available to you through my Unleash one-on-one program. So if that sounds like something that would be awesome, you can go to bit.ly/Jessica-consult. And again, I will give you the QR code that'll take you right to that link for you. But if that's something that would be awesome for you, I would love to support you so we can go ahead and get on a call and chat about your next thought. Thank you so much, everyone. You've been an amazing group today. Appreciate
that was awesome. Make sure my hands are falling down. Great. Jessica, thank you. And that was absolutely amazing because the money is, just highlights us. The money is really where the shit needs to happen, or the mindset around the money is where the shit needs to happen. Because we sit in a space like, you know what? Especially for corporate people, right? We think about it. When I was in corporate, this is why it hits me. When I was in corporate, it'd be like, oh, well, I've got another check coming. I've got money saved in the bank. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't that push to go to that next level because I've got it already, right? Yeah. Even in business, it's like, well, I'm doing really well. I'm making multi-six figures, so I'm doing okay. And when you pull this up, like chills. Right? Mm-hmm. Because it's like, I'm doing great. But wait, I refuse to, we know we could be in this container. Yeah. But yet we sit here in fear. Yeah. And always blocking the fear. Jessica, that was gold. That was absolute gold. Mm-hmm. So how did you realize, because I know you had gone through this yourself. Yes. How did you realize that it was your container that wasn't big enough? Like, how did you realize that this is your situation? Yeah, that's such a great question. So it was partly the experience was kind of like winning the lottery, right? Because you go from like this much money to this much money in like that much time, right? And so I realized that like once I was like so excited. I was so excited, y'all. Like literally, I told my parents I'd never seen my dad dance in my whole life. 30 years I'd never seen him dance. And he was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, what is happening? Like I was confused. Okay. It was so exciting. Right. But here's the thing. When I went from excitement, when I went from excitement to fear, I was like, oh, something's wrong. Something's happening.
right? Like, why is this so scary? And it literally took me back to like being a child and all the fear that I had around money as a child and all the times that my parents said, no, I'm not buying you that, and all of it, right? And so once I realized like, oh, I had a relationship with money, I didn't even realize I had a relationship with money, right? So that was when I started studying and I started going to like seminars and I started, reading books. And then honestly, once I started working with other women and supporting other women, I went, oh, we all have this problem. Oh, okay. Oh, we're all hitting this wall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so that was where it kind of like light bulb for me.
Yeah. And it allowed you to create something completely, new. Because going from a first grade teacher to stepping into this world, like what was that for you and what came up for you as that happened? Because I know there's so many people who are shifting, right? Shifting in their business, shifting in their careers, and shifting potentially from, corporate to entrepreneurship, or have recently shifted, right? Maybe they're full-time entrepreneurs now and they're thinking, oh my goodness, the fear. Right? What's next? I don't have the automatic health insurance, or I don't have the, guaranteed this is coming in. So as you shifted and you're helping others to really own that shift, like what comes up for a lot of women as they're going through that? Because I know you mentioned fear, but what else is coming up?
Oh yeah. A lot of guilt. Guilt is a big one. So like survivor guilt, if you're more successful than your family, or fear of being more successful than your family, being more successful than your community, even beyond your family. I know I had one client who said, oh my gosh, my church members are going to hate me. Right? Yes. And so much of that, thank you for just responding that way, because I'm like, oh yeah, religious trauma, right?
Right.
And all the poverty mindset. For those of you that know Jesus, go to church, like how many of you have heard, like Christians are not supposed to be rich, and it's greedy, and money is the root of all evil, and all these things, right? So a lot of like guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of fear, or like that feeling of like scarcity, like, oh my gosh, like I want money to come in, but I don't want any of it to leave. That feeling is a really big one. Or sometimes even just guilt about our own past financial mistakes. And a teacher named Paul Jones said once, you can never succeed in business past the point where you can't forgive yourself.
Yes.
And so we get stuck in those past financial mistakes, and then we're like, then we don't trust ourselves. Remember you said not trusting yourself to be consistent? Yeah, that comes from not whatever happened in the past, right? And so you're like, well, I screwed up before, so I'm going to screw up again, right? And so we have to forgive ourselves. We got to forgive our parents. Let me tell you, when I forgave my mom and then my dad, my income quadrupled. Quadrupled, really.
I can see that. Yeah. Because that set the stage, that set the tone, and it's the foundation essentially for where the money mindset comes from.
Yes.
So in having that forgiveness, I can totally see that. And that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So when you're working with women, and I know you mentioned that was it bit.ly /Jessica McLean?
Jessica-consult.
Jessica-consult.
Yes, if you can see the slides, they're on the screen. There's a big link right there.
Yes, exactly. Because we want to make sure that folks are really getting into this.
Yes.
Because this is really one of the biggest things that's holding many folks back when it comes to getting to that next level. The vulnerability piece. Because I know when you mentioned the vulnerability piece, every person in here was like, oh, yeah. Like the spaces. And it's like, we've been taught too. So this leads to vulnerability. We've been taught by our parents, which goes to like by our parents and society, not to discuss money. So when you decided, let me become a money mindset coach, what came up for you around the whole, well, we aren't supposed to talk about money? And how do you help folks get past that coming up for them too?
Yeah, good question. Well, I suppose there's kind of two parts. The first is the thing that kind of inspired me was I was looking at an issue of Forbes magazine. And every person on the cover of Forbes magazine, with 4 faces on the cover of Forbes magazine, it was 4 white men. And I said, there's no melanin in this picture, and there are no women in this picture. And I have a problem with that. And then I became a crusader. And I was like, look, we all gonna change this because this is not okay.
Right, exactly.
So opening up the conversation and really getting to that place, part of it is that when we have conversations one-on-one, right, creating that space where women feel safe to talk with me, because it really is challenging, right?
Yeah.
To be vulnerable. And so just being that person that just is holding space, you know, and also just creating spaces where it's okay to talk about money.
Yes.
Because really there are so many spaces, and I've had to actually move out of a lot of spaces myself, just even, you know, in real life or even on Facebook, especially, you know, with 2020 and just spending so much time online.
Yes.
You end up in a lot of conversations and you realize, like, you know, the groups, I remember being in a group for single women, and they would be like, oh, well, you know, someone would say, oh, he's broke, I don't want to date him. And other women would be like, don't block your blessing, girl. You can change it. And all this stuff. And I was like, no,
gosh.
Why? I gotta leave. Like, I can't do this. Right?
This is not the conversation.
You know? And so curating and creating conversation and community where we can talk about what we really want, how we really feel, what we really desire, and where it's safe to be big and to dream big, right? So when you work with me one-on-one, it's safe to dream big and to be big, and we can talk about your $1 million, not your 100,000, if that's what you're really looking for, right? And in group containers, same thing, space to be big and to dream big and to have great conversations. I literally, and this is so silly, but I was, those of you who know Jesus, I know Jesus, I pray a lot, and I was watching this show. I think I was watching like Green Acres or Two Broke Girls or something dumb like that. And literally I heard God say, stop watching shows about broke people, because you are filling your mind with poverty. Right? And when we fill our mind and our conversation with poverty, guess what? We're going to create it in our lives. Exactly. So now I'm watching Billions.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm like, oh, I love this every episode. Like, oh, $480 million. Oh, $480,000. Oh, I just lost 200,000 in 8 minutes. Oh, I just made 200 billion in 8 minutes. Right. I'm like, yes, these are my people. Right.
Exactly.
Right. So it's about creating community where it's safe to have big conversations about money and not conversations about how we broke all the time.
Right. Exactly. Oh my gosh, it's so true too. Yes. Because first of all, who you surround yourself with, you know, is what you become. Yes. So surrounding with two broke girls. I heard that in two ways too. Two broke girls to show, two broke girls people to surround. Right? When you surround yourself with that, right, that's what you begin to step into. Yes. You are your surroundings. Yes. When you're in a space like this with amazing women who are thriving, who are looking for opportunities to continue to grow, then you are in a space, in a community where this is exactly where you go. You know? And I mean, that's gold. That's exactly what it is. And it's with money mindset, like I said, weight loss, health, everything. You know? Yeah. If every time you go out to eat, you're out to eat with friends who all they want to do is get dessert. Let's start off with dessert, guys. Let me order 2 big cakes, and then we'll have dinner, and then we'll have dessert again, and then dessert wine, right? Like when that is the situation, what do you think is happening, right?
Everyone is expanding. That's how they want to, right?
Exactly, right? And so we get to surround ourselves in a community of people who are on that similar path, who have also shifted or are shifting their money mindset, who are working with people like Jessica to make that shift, because it's time, right? To get rid of that whole broke mindset, that broke mentality, that broke shit. We aren't those people, right? And so we don't surround ourselves with those people. We surround ourselves with people who are thriving. We surround ourselves with people who are on that trajectory, and they know it and they're ready for it. So I love that. What last tip do you want to leave for everybody?
Last tip I want to leave. I would say decide this week that you're going to be a good friend to money. Decide you're going to be a good friend to money, and just take some time, maybe journal a little bit. How could I be a better friend or a better girlfriend, if you like that analogy, to money? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes,
it was awesome. Oh, I loved it. I thought our hair was going to say.
I know it.
Thank you. So we're gonna keep going. Actually, I think we're gonna go to the commercials and stuff like that. It's fine. Yeah. We're gonna go into. I'm loving these little rocks because I put my foot on it. It's actually helping my heel.
Oh, good.
It's like a massage. It's like a mini massage. So yeah, we are gonna go into the commercials. But first, I want to say, if you got value out of that, Jessica just gave you the link to her free checklist and 5 steps and things like that. You could actually start stepping in there. And then for those who are ready, she just gave you the link to set up a consult with her to talk about her one-on-one program, right? And it's like, sometimes you sit in a space where it's like, well, I know there's this thing out there that I could be doing that could really help me change. But then you're walking in fear again. She just gave a full example of how we step in fear, right? It's like, where do you want to step? Do you want to constantly stay there? Do you want to move forward, shift your money mindset, and begin to step into your millions? So you get to decide, all right? So, and the best way to really continue to stay in the ecosphere of the experts that you heard these last 2 days is by texting day 2 to the number across the screen. I think it's across the screen. It is 443-594-7733. When you text day 2, you're going to get the recap and the links to be able to connect with them. You're also going to be able to get in the Facebook group and continue to ask questions. Remember, after every speaker, I got a parent ask questions to the speakers. That came from the people in the Facebook group. But since you weren't in there, you didn't get to ask them your question, right? So get in that group so you can continue to ask questions. We have one more speaker, and she'll be coming on. She'll be coming on after our commercial, right? But I want to say, just like Jessica just mentioned, being in this community, being in the community surrounded by people who are on the same trajectory, who are getting rid of their 2 broke girl friends, right? That 2 broke girl mentality, and stepping into becoming friends and building positive relationships with their money mindset, with their money, positive relationships with other experts, other women, other people who are growing and thriving. That is where you want to be. And for those who are ready right now, and we talked about this, you want to be in this room in February, because this is a room filled with experts around wellness. And we're talking wellness around transformational healing, wellness around, I still love the laminated man story that we heard yesterday. Choosing you, attachment styles around relationship, belly dancing and healing, right? And money wellness, financial wellness, money mindset. These are the spaces you want to be in. Health and wellness, right? Fitness. If you want to be in this room in February, because we have another Reclaim Your Revenue retreat, February 1st, starting February 1st. You want to be in the room, text Ilika. That's my name. If you just pop down, you're like, who is this person who has her name everywhere on here? So you're wondering how to spell it? You know it's right there? It's Ileka. So text Ilika to 443-594-7733. Again, you get out your phone. You don't text like this, like I thought you did. Apparently people text with 2 thumbs. I'm this person. But apparently most people text with 2 thumbs. So go to 443-594-7733. I don't have my phone, so I'm miming it just in case you're wondering what this is. And text the name Ileka, Ileka. So you can be in this room in February and you get to get the gems that we're receiving throughout the weekend. Remember, you're getting 3 hours each day of this Reclaim Your Revenue retreat. Women in this room, we've been together for the last 3 days. And we are connecting during breakfast made by our private chef, Jada Prince from Sassy Chef, and it's amazing, right? People are fainting over these breakfasts. I'm people. They are amazing. Absolutely amazing, right? Breakfast, and then we have lunch. I'm not going to mention this chicken salad again because I felt like you guys ate it and I didn't really get as much as I should have. And I'm still a little hurt on that, right? I might need to have a session. Nuria, I may need a session about this chicken salad. So, we're getting incredible meals. We're also spending time together and connecting at the pool, during karaoke, during the belly dancing, during yoga in the morning, during our sessions. And this is what we want. This is what we do in this room. Wow, as a wellness expert, you get to speak and share your expertise to an audience of 7,000 or more. And those who want to be in the room also. We have wellness experts in this room, and we have people who are here also in the room experiencing and receiving. Like, where else are they doing that at? This is where you want to be. So if that's for you, text Ileka, Ileka, to, what's the number again? Oh, I thought people were going to say, because I've said it so much, y'all should know it by heart.
443-594.
7733. Yes. 443-594-7733. All right, so we will see you guys in a bit right after our commercial break. Because we do commercial breaks here from our amazing sponsors. We'll see you in a second.
Wellness clinics, med spas, wellness coaches. Okay, listen up. Are you struggling with constantly trying to get more leads so you can actually bring people into your business? Do you find yourself in a situation where you're using 17 different systems, trying to get them all to talk through zaps all over the place? And what's the other one that they're struggling with?
Are you struggling with not being able to effectively nurture and manage the leads that you've worked so hard to get?
Well, if that is you, then let us tell you something. All right, so first, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Relinquish Superwoman, and I'm a wellness business strategist who works with overworked wellness pros looking to move away from the chase and the grind to monthly recurring revenue. And we do this by working less, living more, and feeling better.
And I'm Carmela Wilson. I work with Relinquish Superwoman. I am an automation expert, and we've put our heads together and founded Wellness Growth Pro just for you. We talked about the issues earlier of generating leads, nurturing those leads, and managing 17 million different systems. Well, we have a solution that is a complete game changer for the industry. And it is called Wellness Growth Pro, and Lily can tell them more about it.
So Wellness Growth Pro, like Carmela said, is gonna change your business. Here's the thing, right? I was in the wellness community. I was a health and wellness coach, fitness trainer for about 7 years. I found myself constantly working on my business, constantly trying to create my landing pages, and then my landing pages are in this system, and then my email system's in this system. I'm trying to get them all to talk, right? And I found myself constantly doing all these things and not having enough time to actually do what I love to do, which was coach my clients, help them achieve their goals.
Been there.
Yep, exactly. And so now with Wellness Growth Pro, we get to shift all that for you. We've got a system that brings everything together for you, and we've got the support that you need to ensure that you get to manage your business.
That's right. You don't just get the system, you get our brains, and you get the support you need to get up and running fast. We're not here just trying to collect a monthly subscription. We don't succeed unless you succeed. So we're here to help you every step of the way.
Exactly. And you won't find that anywhere else. So if you are ready, I want you to go to wellnessgrowthpro.com. Click on that button. We'll sit down and have a quick chat, and let's take your business to the next level.
We're putting people in an environment where they're doing something they haven't tried at all before. They're uncomfortable, it's a little embarrassing, they haven't done it before, and then they're gonna get coached. And then they're gonna go from throwing an axe that is not gonna hit anything, to throwing an axe that hits the target, to throwing an axe that hits the bullseye. From uncomfortable to comfortable to badass, just with a little bit of coaching. Your $1 million idea literally is in this room. They think before they do this that they are so crystal clear on their message.
No. These are established entrepreneurs that haven't had the opportunity, rather, to sit and have somebody just really look at their business in a very insightful, unique way. All right, so pack up your stuff. We gonna party, dance. Open bar starts at 6-ish.
It's not about following rules.
Wellness clinics, med spas, wellness coaches. Okay, listen up.
Are you struggling with constantly trying to get more leads so you can actually bring people into your business? Do you find yourself in a situation where you're using 17 different systems, trying to get them all to talk through Zaps all over the place? And what's the other one that they're struggling with?
Are you struggling with not being able to effectively nurture and manage the leads that you've worked so hard to get?
Well, if that is you, then let us tell you something. All right, so first, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Relinquish Superwoman, and I'm a wellness business strategist who works with overworked wellness pros looking to move away from the chase and the grind to monthly recurring revenue. And we do this by working less, living more, and feeling better.
And I'm Carmela Wilson. And I work with Relinquish Superwoman. I am an automation expert, and we've put our heads together and founded Wellness Growth Pro just for you. We talked about the issues earlier of generating leads, nurturing those leads, and managing 17 million different systems. Well, we have a solution that is a complete game changer for the industry. And it is called Wellness Growth Pro, and Lily can tell them more about it.
So Wellness Growth Pro, like Carmela said, is gonna change your business. Here's the thing, right? I was in the wellness community. I was a health and wellness coach, fitness trainer for about 7 years. I found myself constantly working on my business, constantly trying to create my landing pages, and then my landing pages are in this system, and then my email system's in this system. I'm trying to get them all to talk, right? And I found myself constantly doing all these things and not having enough time to actually do what I love to do, which was coach my clients, help them achieve their goals.
Been there.
Yep, exactly. And so now with Wellness Growth Pro, we get to shift all that for you. We've got a system that brings everything together for you, and we've got the support that you need to ensure that you get to manage your business.
That's right. You don't just get the system, you get our brains, and you get the support you need to get up and running fast. We're not here just trying to collect a monthly subscription. We don't succeed unless you succeed. So we're here to help you every step of the way.
Exactly. And you won't find that anywhere else. So if you are ready, I want you to go to wellnessgrowthpro.com. Click on that button. We'll sit down and have a quick chat, and let's take your business to the next level. To Relinquish Superwoman, Reclaim You speaker event. This has been an amazing, amazing 2 days. We have one more speaker that's going to come up and talk about reclaim your time, managing your mile-long to-do list. And so before we even get started with her, what I do want to do is thank all of the other amazing speakers so far. This has been incredible. And if you've been watching the last 2 days, I know you've had some transformation. I know you've had a change. I know you've seen yourself in the conversations, right? When Nori McGrath was talking about choosing you, let your light shine, and she mentioned creating healthy boundaries, especially when she talked about closing the door to the bathroom, right? How many times have you been sitting on the toilet, right? You're in the bathroom using it. I've got Rihanna on Instagram, using the bathroom, and you're sitting on the toilet, and guess what happens? Some kid comes running into the bathroom, or the dog comes running, or the cat, right? If that is your story, and you know that's your story, and you know creating boundaries is something that you need, you want to be in Nori McGrath's ecosphere. You want to be around her. You want to be jumping in on her programs, her memberships, something that's going to allow you to elevate and create those boundaries and choose you, right? If you're sitting there like, I am so kind of like, I miss the old me. I miss the playfulness that I had before this stage in my life. I miss, running and having fun, but not running like, but running like remember that? Remember how we ran when we were 5, right? Remember playing with our friends and just playing until 9 p.m. or whenever our parents yelled for us because the lights have been on for an hour because we were like, oh, it's only halfway on. So I don't have to come in because the streetlight's not all the way on. So I can stay out longer. If you remember having that much fun and you bringing play back into your life because it shifts everything, then you need to get into Healy's circle because she has what you need right now. You're getting the opportunity to connect with these amazing, amazing speakers and experts. So decide to connect, right? And you're like, you know what? I know that self-love is important. I know that I should be loving myself. I know that it's something that I'm just not quite connected 100% yet. I know that I really need to understand why that is, why I continue to date the same guy over and over, why I continue to create the same friendships and relationships, go to the same job over and over, attract the same client over and over. I know this keeps happening in my life. You need to connect with Yvette Howard. She's going to help you understand where that's coming from through your attachment style and how that relates in your everyday life. We have opportunities to connect, but it's just choosing to. It's choosing you. It's deciding to get rid of this. I'm so tough. I am everything. I have it. And be vulnerable, right? Be vulnerable and say, guess what? I do need help. I need this, and I am ready to invest in me, in myself. And that's when you step into, what is my relationship with money? Why am I doing this? Why is it that every time the bank account fills up, I'm like, you know what? Just go home. Yes. Who need it? Right? Why does that happen? It's time to get in the Jessica McQueen's ecosphere. It's time to find out what the heck is going on and why it keeps happening and how to shift it, right? I remember blueprint and I remember strategy. I don't know why these two are the ones that, but we know that we can, right? And sometimes though, we also get to know that we can't do it alone. Most of the time, if you talk to anyone who's had a major transformation and you ask them, did they do it on their own? Hey, how did you do that? How did you do that? Sometimes people go like, oh, I just read a book. Oh, you know what? I just decided to start, right? That person also decided not to be vulnerable and tell the truth, because the truth is, as we stand, usually most of us have had some type of help, right? If you've been following me for a while, you know that about 7 years ago, I lost 120 pounds. And, people always think that I did it by myself. Oh, you did it on your own. Yes, I did it without surgery or anything, but I didn't do it on my own. I had a community of people who supported me, meaning that when I go out with my friends, and this is so funny because Jessica was just talking about this with the two broke friends, and we were just talking about being with people who align, right? When I go out with my friends, or go to their houses even, right? Let's say I have a friend who's having a cookout. Let's say Noria is having a cookout. You know what Noria McGrath would do for me? She would have a meal set aside because she knew that I don't eat like that I eat certain things. And so she would have food specifically set for me. She would call me in advance. Hey, Lika, do you eat this? Okay, we'll make sure we have this. This is what people do when you're in the community of people who have your back and support you, right? And we get to align with those people and we get to be vulnerable. But again, I didn't do it alone. I also had a trainer, someone I worked out with. And I had guidance on eating, right? So we have the guidance. And it's about deciding to get help to do it. Understanding that we don't get to do these things. We don't do these things alone. When you want to be successful in something, and I know when I want to be successful in something, I'm going to reach out to the person that knows how to help me get there, right? I'm going to have a team, and that is gold. So again, connect with these speakers because they're amazing, and they are experts in their space, and they have major success in their own lives, and they've helped others, right? And when you're in a space and you're like, you know what? I feel like there's something that just needs to shift, and I'm not quite knowing exactly what it was. But I know that I wake up and I'm like, oh, I guess the day is just starting and I'm just going. Have you heard about Kaz Lennox? Who has an entire, she is I've not heard that much around affirmations, honestly, my whole life. And what I realized is I was even doing some of them wrong. I was like, oh shoot, what are these 6 P's? right? It's like we have an opportunity to connect with people who are doing these things and who understand. And also, we get to understand that we're not the experts at everything. You know, like I'm not going to get up here and talk to you about money mindset. Kidding me? Right? Like I'm okay, but I'm definitely not the expert in it. That's not gonna be my talk. And that's why we get to understand that when we get to connect with the person that's their talk. That's what they do, right? I'm not the queen of affirmations, but Cass Lennox seems to be, right? She has that whole 3 coloring books, FYI. I know I'm buying all 3. You know, I'm gonna have one, my baby girl's gonna have one. I have a son who loves to color, right? We're gonna all have them, and we're gonna be playing this. It's gonna be a time we get to be present and play and have a good time. So text day 2 to 443-594-7733, because when you do that, we're gonna send you the links, the recap of the day, and now you'll be able to get in the ecosphere of these amazing experts and speakers, right? And that's what we want. You want to be able to get help from people who are this amazing. So I wanted to make sure I shared that with you all before we move forward. And I want to talk to you guys about one of our sponsors, because as we're talking about choosing you and stepping into you and even deciding that you want to relax sometimes, have some self-care and do it for you. One of our sponsors is Leslie Freelo, who has a wine subscription company. And you'll see, we'll be sending out information to our sponsors as well. But she has a wine subscription company, and she does wine tours in the state of Maryland. She's amazing. I actually, if you have been following my page, I went on one of her wine tours for my birthday this year, and we have our wine here at our we have her subscription wine here at our retreat, at our Reclaim Your Revenue retreat. This is what we're doing, right? We're having a great time. So if you feel like this is a room you want to be in, remember, text Ileka, ILEKA, to, I'm going to get out my phone again, right? So you guys understand, this is my phone, to 443-594. I can text without even looking, guys. So 443-594-7733. You know the number by now. So text the word Ileka because you want to be in the room with these experts. It's incredible. All right. So we're getting set for our next speaker. I'm gonna get a sip of water really quick while she gets ready to come on up to the stage. So our next speaker, she's had a major transformation of her own. She had a transformation in terms of her health as well as her mindset. She's come from a background of business coaching, executive coaching, all that stuff that, seemed fun, but she realized it wasn't her because she was trying to be Superwoman, right? She has several kids, married to an amazing person, amazing man who just, honestly, I've met him. And I'm always like, wow, like this guy, not only is he fine, I ain't talking about nobody's husband, but not only is he fine, but he's also like, he's such a support. He's a rock for her. And he's an amazing dad. So we'll call her to the stage in a second, but she's going to speak on Reclaim Your Time and how to manage that mile long to do this. All right, so I'm going to let her tell a little bit about her when she comes up here. And so be sure to text day 2 to 443-594-7733. So you get to, again, be in that, be in the Facebook group. Because when you're in the Facebook group, you get to ask questions to these amazing speakers, right? All right, let's bring her to the stage. We're going to be bringing Ileka to the stage. Woo! Wow. My husband is fine, thank you. So, hey everybody, I'm Ileka. I've been the host here during our Relinquish Superwoman, Reclaim You virtual speaker series. And I'm also host of the Reclaim Your Revenue retreat, which all these women are here today or this weekend for, or I guess these 3 to 4 days for. Such an amazing experience. We had so much fun. So I'm going to talk to you all about reclaiming your time. The reason that's important to me is because, like I mentioned, as a mom of 4, as a business owner, I was a real estate agent, mom of 4, and a senior director at a Fortune 100 company. I don't often I try not to name the company online, but I tell y'all. So that's where I was, and everyone everywhere I went was like, "Oh my goodness, you're Superwoman. You are killing it. Like, how do you do it? Oh my gosh, how on earth do you do it? How do you have 4 kids and you work for this Fortune 100 company as a senior director? Oh my gosh, and you have a real estate business? What on earth?" And I stood proud. It's just what I do, guys. This is how I live, right? And I'm standing proud. Everyone's thinking I'm confident and strong and powerful, and I've got all these things. And then I go to my bed at night, and I'm like, babe, I'm so tired. I have barely seen the kids today. I have so much to do at work. Nothing is getting done. I can't do this anymore. Like, we've got to figure something out because I cannot do this. And of course, my amazing husband is like, you know what? Let's create a plan so that you can be a stay-at-home mom. Let's do it. If that's what you want, let's create this plan. He's 100% supporting, having my back, right? And I knew that, like, even as he was saying, because he's trying to help, even as he was saying, I was thinking, as incredible as he is, he can't really do it. Because even if I'm a stay-at-home mom, which we did create that, I became a stay-at-home mom for about 3.5 days. And during those 3.5 days, all I did was create more things on this to-do list. I'm like, why am I working more when I'm no longer working? Like, this is no longer my job, and yet my to-do list is longer. We created this, and yet what I realized is I was creating this to-do list. I was creating a list of, well, I gotta go grocery shopping. This was before we really understood that Instacart was a thing, because the moment Instacart became a thing, I don't know if I've seen a grocery store. I don't know what they look like anymore. It's not who I am, right? So it was like, I gotta do my grocery shopping, right? Well, first, I wake up, I've got to get this workout in, right? So I've got to get up at 5:30. That's the time I have to get up for this workout because I can't do it any later. So I've got to get up at 5:30 and get this workout in. And then I've got to make breakfast for the kids. Do you want oatmeal? Do you want hot oatmeal? Okay, because we can't do instant, not for my babies, right? And then, oh, you want pancakes? Okay, well, I'll make pancakes for you, right? And so made these dinners, and they all leave at different times, and let me just try and spend time with them before they go. Meanwhile, while I'm spending time with them, guess what I'm doing? Thinking about this mile-long to-do list that I still have to go on. So I don't even know what happened during this time that we're spending together, right, before they left for school. Then they head out to school, and now the real party starts. Guess what? I've got to get laundry done. I've got to get to the grocery store. I've got to go help my friend because she needs something, moved from her house. And I'm the one that I have to do that, right? I also got to think about, you know what? We want to move in 5 years. So since we're going to be moving in 5 years to Texas, let me go start looking at houses in Texas. Like, I've got to get online and start looking at this house that we're going to move to 5 years from now. Guess how long ago this was? This was about 6.5 years ago, maybe almost 7 years ago. We don't live in Texas. Yet I felt like I needed to do that. I needed to be looking up houses in Texas, right? And now I also have to make sure the kids have their lunch and stuff. Oh, I've got to go volunteer at their schools. And then let me look on this. Oh my goodness. Gabrielle has homework. No, not Gabrielle, she's this baby. John has homework. I've got to make sure he gets his homework done. That's due next Tuesday. because this is super important, right? And so there's all these things that have come up on this to-do list in those 3 days that were just frankly too much, right? Because then I was like, well, I should just start a YouTube channel too, because that's also something I should definitely do. And so started the YouTube channel, and now I'm doing a million things. And my husband turns to me, he's like, hey, you seem like you're just as busy as you were when you're working, yet now you're not making any money doing it, right? Because you're staying at home and you're just playing on YouTube. And so I was like, you know what, you're right. And I felt it. Like this, he literally said the words that were going on in my head. And I really had to look at where that was coming from. And so I made that shift, and I'm going to tell you the things that I did to make that shift. But first, I'm going to quickly introduce myself. I'm Relinquish Superwoman. I'm a mom of 4, as I've likely mentioned, former corporate gal, and now moved into wellness business strategist. So I work with wellness entrepreneurs to move away from the chase and the grind, going after this, after this, after this, and move into monthly recurring revenue. So, and we use my Reclaim Your Revenue methodology to allow you to create more visibility for your business, shift your time so that you're not finding yourself working 24/7 when you actually could be enjoying your money, enjoying your business, the thing that you're passionate about, enjoying your life, right? And we also work on shifting your mindset to ensure that these things happen for you. We're looking at how to work less, live more, and feel better while reclaiming your revenue. All right, so that is what I do. And the way this aligned for me was I had this mile-long to-do list, right, that I hadn't quite understood how to manage. So I was doing it, just doing all the things. After I stopped being the stay-at-home mom for those 3 days, I began, creating the YouTube channel, and then moved from that into coaching, created a business called Keto Mommy Makeover, a multi-6-figure weight loss business, essentially, right? So I'm doing those things. And of course, I'm doing now more things added to my to-do list, right? Now I've got clients added to that list. I haven't moved anything off the list because I'm still volunteering at the school. I'm still grocery shopping. I can't believe I grocery shop so much. Well, 4 kids, you're grocery shopping a lot. Still grocery shopping. I'm still doing my own laundry. I'm still trying to clean my house. I'm still and trying, because I'm not the greatest at that. That's not my ministry. And then I think we went off on Instagram. And then I'm still what else? Oh, and of course I'm still trying to make dinner every day. Still thinking I could make breakfast every day, and that was super key to life, right? That breakfast had to be made, hot breakfast every day for the kids, right? And so I'm still doing all the things, and frankly, I'm getting burnt out, right? People are still saying, hey, you're Superwoman, and I'm like, I am, guys, right? I'm Superwoman, and yet completely burnt out. And so I needed to shift. I needed to understand more than how to make the money and do all the things. I needed to understand how to do them and get my life back. I needed to also understand that no matter what was happening, what I was doing in life, I was always going to create a mile-long to-do list because it was just a part of me. And so I had to decide how to stop that from being a part of my life so that I could actually live life and enjoy life and be present. Because what does that mile-long to-do list do for you? What does it do to you? When you have a long to-do list, what are some of the things that it's doing? Like, what are some of the things that come up for you?
Well, it's stressing me out, but also making me feel like I'm doing things, right?
Yeah.
I'm in motion,
Right.
even if I'm on a hamster wheel.
Exactly. You're feeling like, oh, I'm important. I'm accomplishing things because I've got this mile long to. I've got so much to do, so I'm important, right?
It keeps you away from what you really want to do. Yeah, that's exactly what you're creating.
Exactly. You no longer have to think about all the things that are coming that you actually should be doing because just too busy to do it. Oh, I know that I want to really grow this business. I know I've only been taking 2 or 3 clients because I'm too busy to take more, too busy to work with more people. So I'm just working with more people with these 3 clients, right? And the reason part of that is because there's a fear of actually allowing this to expand. So instead, let me just focus on the laundry and going to the grocery store. Here's an Instacart now. This isn't back when we didn't know about Instacart. We can do these things now easily, right? But it's like, let me continue to focus on this. Let me avoid, right? What else does a to-do list do, Nori?
Zaps your creativity.
Yes. You're constantly doing these tasks, really, right? That's all it's on the to-do list. There's usually not strategic things on the to-do list. It's usually just tasks. And so while we're doing the task, we can't be creative. We don't have time. There's no time to be creative. I got all this stuff to do, right? This thing's a mile long. I got all this to do. I can't be creative. What else is it doing, April?
Well, when you don't accomplish it, you feel like you failed.
Yeah, I get to be right. I wasn't gonna grow this business anyway. So, I've been failing. This wasn't really gonna work anyway. So, I mean, and now I get to blame this on it. And I didn't even finish this stuff. This mile-long list. Some of the stuff has been on there for 6 months, right? That I said I was gonna do. So I'm a failure here and I'm a failure here, right? I get to be right about that.
Keeps us safe.
Keeps you safe. Exactly. And never present anymore, right? You don't know who's in the room because all you're thinking about is the 17 things that you got to do. While you're sitting down coloring with the babies, right? Coloring with your daughter, all you're thinking about is, let me hurry up and finish this picture because I gotta cook dinner, right? We get to step away from that. That is not adding value to our lives. What it's doing is creating additional stress. It's leaning into the fear and not in the positive way, right? It's leaning into the fear in the most crucial way that says, oh, if I stay here in this fear, I'm comfortable being in fear. I've done it before. I've done it for a long time. So this is where I belong. No, you don't. No, you don't, right? You don't belong in that. So we don't have to choose it. So I'm going to give you today a couple of quick strategies for reclaiming your time, for managing that to-do list. And we get to think about also some mindset shifts that come along with it. So for the folks who need the strategies first, right? Because I know I'm like that. I'm like, tell me the thing to do. And then once I've done these 2 things, or tell me a thing to do. And then as I process that in my head, now you tell me why. And I'm like, duh. Now I can get this done. So let me give you a couple of quick things that you could do right now, literally right now, that can shift that mile-long to-do list. Okay? So everybody has a to-do list. Sure, it's probably on your phone. If you're me, it's on the phone because it's in the notes section on your iPhone, right? Or it's on your some people just have it right in their head. Boom, 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 just going around, right? If you are that person that has it in your head, the first tip is put it on the phone. Put it somewhere else, right? Write it down, get it out of here. Because when it's staying here, what happens is you're constantly in a space of, I gotta do this, right? And it's always moving, and you can't really think about anything else or make decisions because it's constantly going, right? So take it out of here first. So the first thing I want each of you to do in here is write down the first 5 things, or either pull out that to-do list or write down the 5 things that are running around your head on your to-do list, right? Take out your phone and you can type in it or write it on a piece of paper, the 5 things. And we're going to manage just the top 5, those 5 things. So I'll give you a minute to do it. I'm going to drink some water because I always feel like when people drink water and they're talking, whether it's a comedian or anything, they just look really fancy. I'm always like, oh, look at them drink that water. So fancy. All right. So I'll give you a few. My watch is not telling me the seconds, so I'm just gonna pretend that it is. And give you guys another few seconds to write them down. And I hope you're doing this at home too, or wherever you are. You might be at work, like, I'm just gonna watch this from work. I get it. That's what I would be doing if I was at work. If I was back when I was a senior director of a Fortune 100 company, there was definitely times where I was watching a webinar or something while at work. Don't tell them. Well, you can't tell them because you don't know what company it is. But and it doesn't really matter because I don't work there anymore. So, all right. So now what I want you to do with that list of 5 things, I'm going to give you a simple strategy that you can do with your to-do list. And it's called, well, I call it 3 Ds and an S, right? So it's called the 3 Ds, right? All right. So the first thing you can do is look at that list and decide what are the things that are 6 months, a year out, like 5 years out, like us moving to Texas, right? Which still, again, do not live in Texas right now, right? 6 years later, do not live in Texas. Why I was looking up on the on what is it? It's the Redfin
interweb.
Right, exactly. Why I'm looking it up every day, right? Taking time that doesn't need to be had, right? Anything that is 6 months or more out, I want you to just delete it. Just remove it from the list. You don't need it. It's 6 months out. You can especially on past 6 months out, you don't need that on the list. It's not something that you're doing right now. So it can be on your vision board, your long-term plan, your plan for the year, for next year, for 2024, whatever that is. But it does not need to be on the main to-do list that you're looking at on a regular basis, right? Because again, Texas is 5 years out, right? You don't have to have it on there. So I want you to look at what on there can actually be deleted because it's 6 months or more out. You don't have to look at that every day. Maybe that's on your, this is what I look at once a month plan to make sure I'm still on track to it, right? But your daily to-do list doesn't have to have this. Now, the next D is, what do I need to do right now? I mean, this is something that has to be done today. This is super important. It needs to be done. It's got to be done. It is key. If this doesn't get done, my kid's waiting at school for 4 hours because I didn't pick them up, right? That's a to-do today. That's a do right now, right? My kid's still at practice and the coach is calling like, hey, are you coming to get them? Or that was a do today, right? So really, like, write down the things, put do next to those things. So if you're on your phone, usually I do a dash do, right? Put do on those things. And then we're going to pop into the S. Now look what's on there that maybe it doesn't have to be done on the day, but it's in the next, it needs to be done by, let's say, next Thursday or by, the end of October. On that, I want you to put an S for schedule. Because this is something that you can schedule out there. It doesn't have to be done tomorrow, right? I mean, today. It can be done on October 15th. So you can schedule that, and then you can literally take it and put it in your calendar for then, right? Put it on your plan to bring it back into your to-do list when it needs to be done versus thinking about it every day. Because what happens is when we have this thing going, you know what it creates also? Overwhelm. It's overwhelming to have 70 things in your brain, right? So schedule it out and schedule it out for when it needs to be scheduled for. If it takes you a week to do it, schedule it for a week before it's due, and it can be added to your to-do list then. It doesn't have to be added today, right? It's not due till October 15th. Today is September 30th. You've got 15 days or something like that. I don't know dates and math like that for when it comes to dates. I'm really good at 2 + 2 and stuff like that though. So I'm going to highlight that. I always look to highlight things and different. So we can look at it like that. And then the last D is delegate. So we tend, us, Superwoman, we tend to think that we've got to do everything ourselves, right? Because no one's as good at this as me. And if it's not done by me, it's not done right, right? If I don't do it, I'm gonna have to go back and redo it because they did it wrong, right? I remember when I first started hiring people into my business, when I first started to hire a team, right? The first people that I hired, I was like, oh my goodness, like I need you to really help me kind of create some social media content for me, like some graphics, and edit my YouTube videos. I remember those were the main things. Create graphics, edit my YouTube videos. So the first person I hired to edit my YouTube videos, it wasn't right, right? And I was like, oh my gosh. Now it's gonna be late going out because now I gotta do it myself. So I go back and I'm editing the video. My daughter's like, Mommy, can we do this? No, baby, I've got to edit this video because the person I hired didn't do it right. It's all a mess. And now I got to do it, right? So I'm all in, right? And then I put the video out. Now the next video that she goes to edit, she's gonna do it wrong again. And now I've created a situation where I've got to do it again too, right? Or I finally learned this eventually, right? After about 7 videos, I could send it back and say, here are my notes, right? Please update it. Now that person can actually learn how to do the thing. And now when I say, hey, create this video, she just loads it. I don't have to watch it first. She just loads it to YouTube because she knows, I trust her enough to know that it's done. Well, guess what? Here's the other thing. Just because something is not done 100% the way you would do it, doesn't mean it's not done right or good enough, right? If it's 80%, it's done. It's gone. You're good. It doesn't have to be perfect before it goes up. A YouTube video that's going to be watched by 10,000 people doesn't have to be perfect before it goes up. It is good enough. If a word is misspelled on there, I can live, or if maybe an is left on the video. Oh my gosh. I said there and you didn't remove it. How on earth is this happening? Right? It's like, that is okay. So we get to look at spaces in our lives where we can actually delegate, right? Where can you delegate so that you're not doing the thing? Because when you delegate, that's going to save you some time and you can focus on other things like being present, right? So look at that list of the 5 things and go, what can you delegate? Another thing, right? Maybe laundry's on that long list, or cleaning up the house. Remember, I just told you, I don't like to clean and therefore don't do it that well, right? So guess who doesn't clean? I'll do like the dishes, I guess. But in terms of like the whole house cleaning, hire someone. Maybe you put that on the list. Hire someone to clean your house, right? And that's on the do thing. Because then you get to do that now, and now cleaning goes to delegate, right? Now someone else is doing it. Because we get to look at how much time we're spending doing these things that we could actually hire out to do. And sometimes, like cleaning, we can look at how much time I'm spending cleaning, and it's not that great. Meanwhile, and I'm spending 4 hours cleaning up my house, and it looks like it wasn't really clean. It looked just like it did before, right? Meanwhile, I hire someone who, this is what they do for a living. And they come in and clean in 2 hours, and I pay $150 or something like that, and it's done. How much am I billing my time out at, right? If I'm billing my time out at $1,000 an hour, I just wasted $4,000 trying to clean my house and did a shitty job. Like we get to look at that. I remember first time I hosted an event, I was like, ooh, you know what? I should just, hey, Toy, that's my sister's name. Toy, you got your iPhone. It's an Android. You got your phone, it's an Android, so it takes better pictures. You could just do the photography. Can you just take the pictures, right, of us? Or here's my little camera, right? It's a fancy camera. I did buy it on Amazon for like $567. So thank you. It is a fancy camera. Just take my camera. You take pictures, right? And so my pictures at this event look like trash, right? Because we are not photographers. We are not good at it, right? We think we're good. Girl, I got my Android. Android can do everything. Look, it can remove this person. Da, da, da. And then I hosted a retreat and hired Alicia Nicole to come to my retreat. And I was embarrassed by my pictures from that first event, right? Like, oh, this is what pictures from a photographer looks like. You know what? I won't be using my Android again or my iPhone. I thought the Android was great. iPhone, don't even pretend like you're lying to yourself. You think your iPhone pictures came out okay, because they did not. Right? They did not. 100% were terrible. And so we get to look at spaces that we can bring in an expert to help us with something that we have been thinking that we can do ourselves, right? And that's how we get to look at the to-do list. It's do, delete, delegate, schedule. 3 Ds, right? Right? That's what we get to do. And when we do that, it's a simple strategy. When you do it, it feels better. Some of that overwhelm gets to be removed. Some of that failure, that feeling of failure gets to be removed because you actually got to complete things on this list and you got to remove things from this list. Now the list goes from being this long to being this long. Oh, these are the things I got to do. Well, I can get that done. Shit, I'm a winner. I done. Endorphins, endorphins, endorphins. I just won. I just checked stuff off the list. So for those who need the strategy, there you go. 3 Ds, right? You got that strategy. Now let's talk about what's shifting here. We just talked about when that list is shortened, some of that overwhelm gets to be shifted. Now you get to be more creative. Now you get to actually feel good. You get to be present in the moment because some of that has shifted. Can you imagine what you can do when your to-do list doesn't look like this? Can you imagine what you can create when your to-do list doesn't look like this? Step into that person that you get to be without this mile-long to-do list. What does she do? How does she grow her business? How does she step into the life that she wants to live? Maybe she wanted to leave corporate, right? For years, but didn't even know she wanted to leave because she was so stuck in that damn to-do list and to-do list here at the job for this Fortune 100 company, right? And then to-do list here for home and everybody else because now you know I'm Superwoman, so I get to do it all. We get to relinquish that Superwoman and reclaim our time. You get to relinquish it, reclaim your time, reclaim your revenue, reclaim you, right? And that's how we get to do it. We get to step away from that. One of the ways that I teach wellness entrepreneurs to reclaim their time is by hosting profitable retreats, revenue generating retreats. I'm going to tell a quick story of someone that I talked to a friend of mine. It was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And she was telling me she'd just come from an amazing transformational retreat. Like it was probably the best thing she had experienced in years. She felt like she was a different person. Life had shifted and changed for her, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go to this retreat. You know, like this is gold, right? And so I was like, when is she having the next one? And she was like, oh yeah, I talked to a woman and she might not be doing another one. And I was like, what? It's like, but you said that it had all these things. And she's like, yeah, no. And I was like, she didn't make any money, did she? And she was like, no. She's like, she told me, this woman mentioned that she had done this incredible retreat, created it, hosted it, had attendees, right? And $0 in made. She broke even. And that happens a lot, where you create a retreat experience. The folks who came are having this amazing transformational experience. And this is exactly what you want to give. And you may be stuck in that poverty mindset of, well, in order for me to give this amazing experience, you know, I may not make any money from it. And I asked, why not? Was it the poverty mindset? Is it that you may not, were you not doing the things, or do you not know the things to do? Most do not know the things to do either, right? Like it is different Creating a revenue generating retreat, it comes with a few incredible things, right? You want to make sure that you're creating the experience for the folks stepping into your event. So everyone who came here this weekend and experienced this Reclaim Your Revenue retreat, we had fun, right? We had a fun weekend. Yes, right, ladies? There was
Still having fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
What are you talking
Tonight
about?
is going to be even more fun. We had transformation, right? You step into visualizations, yoga, we're having belly dance, we had karaoke. Like we created an experience. So the folks who came had an amazing time, and they're talking about it and they want to be there. So you create that experience for them, right? And that's what we create. We create an experience for you. Then we also have an education piece of it, right? We want to make sure they're getting what they came there for, that you're learning how to create profitable revenue generating retreats that will give your clients a transformation and have them raving, telling everyone they know about it, and have them wanting to come back themselves. That's what we get to create. And then we have the extras, right? What are the extras? The extras are things like, oh, private chef. The extras are things like, oh, we're doing this in a mansion, right? The extras are things like, oh my goodness, wait, I did not know that we also had additional materials and things that we can actually look at and step into. And oh my goodness, Ilika, we're going to meet for a few weeks beforehand to talk about how to create this experience. Wait, I'm going to pick a date. Okay. You're gonna actually like have me pushing back some of my fears and my obstacles. Oh, I didn't know that was happening. These are the extras we get to experience here, right? We get to step in that room. You get to step into this room, and have those experiences. And so that is what we are teaching here at Reclaim Your Revenue Retreat. And this is something that you want to bring additional space. This literally gives you time back. So I'm going to tell you about someone I know who has created revenue generating retreats. I'll tell you about me too, right? This is what I do. I create revenue generating retreats. I created it partially because of that long to-do list. Partially because I needed to create something that allowed me to, number one, give my clients an in-person transformational experience. Number two, allowed me to get back some of my time, because sometimes we get in this space where it's like time equals money. Time equals money. Remember hearing that? Time equals money, right? So we get into that space. And so guess what? When we create revenue generating retreats, time doesn't equal money. We actually get our time back, and then while we make money, right? Even more money. And so we get to create that. So we've been at retreats. I've created retreats making where you can make $10,000, $30,000. Like, people are making money on retreats. Let's get away from that idea that you can't really make any money, or you're only making $5,000. You spent 6 months creating this retreat. That's not the life we gotta live. When you learn how to create revenue generating retreats that give your clients transformation, you step into a new level of you, a new level in your business, and you create clients that become a part of your ecosystem and want to continue to be a part of it. And so that is what we're showing you how to do here at Reclaim Your Revenue Retreats, or Reclaim Your. And so if you feel like, you know what, I need to be in that room on February 1st, I need to be in the room with these amazing women, learning how to create revenue generating retreats, and also becoming more visible by speaking on a stage virtually in front of 70,000 people, as well as the amazing people in the room, then text the word Ilika to, what's the number again? Because I forgot it, I think.
594-7733.
Yes, I've set it enough where everybody knows it. It's 443-594-7733. Text the word Ilika. And we're going to get on the call and we're going to chat about it. We're going to see if this is the space for you. Because before anybody comes into the mansion with these amazing people, I need to talk to them and make sure that they're mansion material, right? I want to make sure that we're going to have a great time because we are staying together. So I like to vet. Not just anyone can get into this, right? And so I also want to let you know that the price that we have right now, that's the price for the next month. After that, the price will go up because these retreats are growing and people are getting in. Right now, we only have 5 spaces available for February. We've already sold into February because that's also what I teach you how to do is when you come to these retreats, I show you how to sell out your retreat, how to market your retreat, and how to make some real profit during the retreats. All right. So if that's something that you want, get in this room in February. It's February 1st through the 4th. And you can text the word ILECA to 443-594-7733. I swear by having these conversations this weekend, I've learned my phone number, guys, by heart. So that's amazing. That's a win right there. Let me check that off the to-do list. Right? It's time to reclaim your time. It really is. You get to reclaim your time and reclaim your revenue at the same time. Right? All right. So thank you all so much. I will see you guys. I'm so excited. I want to just close out by saying thank you. We got like 3 minutes left. Really proud of myself staying on time, right? Really proud of all of you staying on time. And I'm really thankful to the team that kept me on time because I am good at not staying on time. So it's one of my gifts. And so I'm so thankful to the team. I'm thankful to Crystal Clear Action, who has really helped us managing everything. She is my OBD with OCD and absolutely saves me sometimes. Like I am like, oh, but I have these things. And she's like, Alika, I got this. You do your thing. You are good at helping people create profitable retreats. You are good at coaching wellness entrepreneurs. You are not good at making a landing page. And you are not good at sending out the email when you're supposed to. You're not good. I'm like, I know, I'm not. Actually, it's not even her telling me I'm not good at it. It's me saying, you know, I'm not good at that. And she's like, I know. I'll just agree with you because it's true, right? So thank you so much, Crystal from Crystal Clear Action.
Thank
I want to thank all of our sponsors. Fire Savvy, that is my coach, Donna and Chanel. They are amazing. I want to thank them for sponsoring this event. And Donna came. I don't know, she's in another room right now, but she came here with us. So thankful. Chanel's going to come to the next one. I'm manifesting that. And, and so I also want to thank our other sponsors, Leslie Freelo of I'm just gonna say Leslie Freelo.
The wine concierge.
Thank you. The wine concierge. I'm like, I've been to her wine tours. I have her wines. I love what she does. And we're actually friends. So that's why I know her name by her. So the wine concierge, thank you so much for helping the sponsor. We have had some amazing wine this weekend. And also want to thank BCP Detroit. That's our photographer and videographer and been our tech team here during this speaking event. So thank you to you as well. I want to thank Deanna Jean. Deanna Jean is your collab queen. You've seen her commercial. She's amazing. Really, like, literally, no lie, the best networking and collaboration group I've ever been in, called Collab Circle, Goals, Gifts, and Gaps. I mean, it is gold. So if you're not in there and you are an entrepreneur, a coach, consultant, speaker, that's where you want to be. And then also Leah Johnson. Oh my goodness. The earrings that she sent us are gold. The women in this room are wearing the earrings. We love them. I had mine on yesterday. I was rushing today, so I ended up throwing on some studs that I had sitting here in my purse. But her earrings are gorgeous. And so I'm going to share, we're going to share the link for her earrings as well. They are beautiful. If you were admiring my gold earrings yesterday, those are from Leah Johnson's Southern Cernova. Gorgeous earrings. Gorgeous, gorgeous, right? And I also want to thank our speakers. And our other sponsor, Wellness Growth Pro. That is actually my company and Carmela Wilson's company. We've joined forces around working with helping wellness entrepreneurs in their systems, creating better automations and really becoming more hands-off with their automations or with their systems, having that freedom and support when it comes to creating systems. Because like I said, I do not love doing like landing pages and email automations and all that stuff. And I'm not that good at it. But guess who is? Carmela's really good at it. So we joined forces. She has a system. So we came together for Wellness Growth Plan. We talked a bit about that in the commercials as well. So that's one of our sponsors. I'm so thankful to sponsor this event as well. And also thank you to the amazing speakers and attendees. Noria McGrath, be sure to connect with her. She spoke on choosing you, let your light shine. Be sure to connect with you. She spoke on the power of play and bringing play back into your life because so many of us have lost it, right? Yvette Howard, she spoke on your journey to self-love and really understanding your attachment style and how it's affecting the relationships with others as well as relationship with yourself. And we heard from Cass Lennox this morning. I am the real Miss Cass, right? Or the real Miss Cass, right? That's on Instagram. She is incredible. She spoke about affirmations and her amazing, I can't find it, the coloring books, her amazing coloring books that I am definitely ordering. I have one in my room, and then I'm getting some more for my kids as well. Just the shift that can make for us, right? And then thank you to Jessica McLean, who spoke on money mindset and just shifting that. How can you shift your money mindset to create more and fill this cup rather than this one, right? I mean, that was absolute gold. We loved it, and we're so thankful. And thank you to our last speaker. Hi, Lika Follette, that's me. And thank you all for watching us, for joining and being a part of this. Remember, this is a space that you want to be in. The women here are amazing. And there's even one guy. And it's incredible. It's incredible. Next time we may be even a little more mixed because this is for wellness entrepreneurs, right? We're learning how to really step into this business and grow and thrive, right? And we get to create profitable retreats. Get to move away from that chase and that grind. And, this client, let me try. Let me chase this, let me chase that. To monthly recurring revenue that gets to keep growing, right? It's time to work less, live more, and feel better while you reclaim your revenue. All right, so thank you all so much for joining us. Relinquish Superwoman and Reclaim You. All right, we'll see you guys later. Thank you.
We're putting people in an environment where they're doing something they haven't tried at all before. They're uncomfortable, it's a little embarrassing, they haven't done it before, and then they're gonna get coached. And then they're gonna go from throwing an axe that is not gonna hit anything, to throwing an axe that hits the target, to throwing an axe that hits the bullseye. From uncomfortable to comfortable to badass, just with a little bit of coaching. Your $1 million idea literally is in this room. They think before they do this that they are so crystal clear on their message.
No. These are established entrepreneurs that haven't had the opportunity to sit and have somebody just really look at their business in a very insightful, unique way. All right, so pack up your stuff. We gonna party, dance, open bar starts at 6-ish.
It's not about following rules.
Deanna Jean, your collab queen, and experts come to me when they are ready to enhance their visibility, their impact,
and their revenue. But the experts that I work with, they want to do that by collaborating with other experts, and we do that in our Success Tribe. Sound like your jam? You want to go ahead and join us in our Success Tribe group? Just go to thesuccesstribe.com, and we can't wait to see you there.
Clinics, med spas, wellness coaches. Okay, listen up. Are you struggling with constantly trying to get more leads so you can actually bring people into your business? Do you find yourself in a situation where you're using 17 different systems, trying to get them all to talk through Zaps all over the place? And what's the other one that they're struggling with?
Are you struggling with not being able to effectively nurture and manage the leads that you've worked so hard to get?
Well, if that is you, then let us tell you something. All right, so first, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Relinquish Superwoman, and I'm a wellness business strategist who works with overworked wellness pros looking to move away from the chase and the grind to monthly recurring revenue. And we do this by working less, living more, and feeling better.
And I'm Carmela Wilson. I work with Relinquish Superwoman. I am an automation expert, and we've put our heads together and founded Wellness Growth Pro just for you. We talked about the issues earlier of generating leads, nurturing those leads, and managing 17 million different systems. Well, we have a solution that is a complete game changer for the industry. And it is called Wellness Growth Pro, and we can tell them more about it.
So Wellness Growth Pro, like Carmela said, is gonna change your business. Here's the thing, right? I was in the wellness community. I was a health and wellness coach, fitness trainer for about 7 years. I found myself constantly working on my business, constantly trying to create my landing pages, and then my landing pages are in this system, and then my email system's in this system. I'm trying to get them all to talk, right? And I found myself constantly doing all these things and not having enough time to actually do what I love to do, which was coach my clients, help them achieve their goals.
Been there.
Yep, exactly. And so now with Wellness Growth Pro, we get to shift all that for you. We've got a system that brings everything together for you, and we've got the support that you need to ensure that you get to manage your business.
That's right. You don't just get the system, you get our brains, and you get the support you need to get up and running fast. We're not here just trying to collect a monthly subscription. We don't succeed unless you succeed. So we're here to help you every step of the way.
Exactly. And you won't find that anywhere else. So if you are ready, I want you to go to wellnessgrowthpro.com. Click on that button. We'll sit down and have a quick chat, and let's take your business to the next level.